When I was young, there was a fella went by the name of Jacques de Gautier.
Norm MacDonald is even more genius than you ever knew, and he proves it in this clip. Norm MacDonald tells the most convoluted joke ever, a famous clip uploaded by the Team Coco YouTube channel from a Conan late night show which aired on May 21st, 2014. You may have heard this joke before. It has to do with feeding baby dolphins, if that rings a bell. Now, I can't show the joke in its entirety here, however, what I will try to demonstrate in this video is how Norm MacDonald is even more of a comic genius than you could ever have imagined, and how he uses his unbelievable intellect, wisdom, and knowledge to sneak Canadian references and a history lesson into his 3-minute Shaggy Dog story about a man he once knew from his childhood, Jacques de Gautier.
Jacques de Gautier. And he was from Témiscamingue, Quebec.
So the first Canadian reference we get is this location of Témiscamingue, Quebec, and indeed it is a very real place. Norm likely only uses it because it's an obscure place and perhaps a bit unusual sounding, especially to an American audience unfamiliar with the blend of First Nations and French-Canadian place names, which is actually pretty common in Canada. Témiscamingue, Quebec is a small town of only about 2,000 people, which mostly found production in logging the thick forests and milling lumber back in the day, then sending it down the Ottawa River towards the nation's capital and other more populated areas for use there. There are numerous places with the Témiscamingue name in Quebec and Ontario, including Lake Témiscamingue, about 100 kilometers upriver, and the name comes from Algonquin words meaning deep and open body of water. The Wikipedia article for the town of Témiscamingue actually includes a blurb about this joke under an in popular culture section. I hope no one removes it now that I've mentioned it here. Now, Norm himself was actually born in Quebec City, which is quite a ways away from Témiscamingue, Quebec. About 600 kilometers away, in fact, and in a completely different region of Quebec. However, it is worth noting that Témiscamingue has quite a high English-speaking population, at least relatively. Roughly 30% of the town speak English as a first language, which is uncommon for towns in Quebec. Meanwhile, Norm MacDonald, growing up in Quebec City, would have been one of few Anglophone minorities in the city, so he could certainly relate to the sort of ongoing battles and tensions between Anglophones and Francophones throughout the province. But in any manner, Norm's allusions to Jacques de Gautier from Témiscamingue, Quebec was likely mostly a way for him to entertain himself whilst telling this classic Shaggy Dog story.
And he was, while I was scrambling to get out of high school, Jacques Zagatineau had already...
I think you just changed his last name.
Well, you know, a man grows. But this is the point.
But back to the Canadiana. The deepest Canadian lore Norm snuck into this joke takes place in this next part, where Norm lists off 3 names with whom he compares the protagonist, now renamed and grown into Jacques de Gatineau.
Jacques de Gatineau, he went to McGill University and he got 3 degrees, by golly, and he went over across the pond to the fellers with Cambridge and he even stood up to them. Mm-hmm. And we thought, boy, he's going to be the next. We had Jean Marchand, Gérald Pertier, Pierre Trudeau, the 3 wise men of Quebec. By God, Jacques de Gatineau was going to be the next.
You give me the next gun.
Yeah, but he vanished.
Now at a first listen, this just sounds like Norm is making up a few French-Canadian sounding names and adding in one which people might recognize, Pierre Trudeau, to further build the joke, continue entertaining himself, and tease the audience throughout the story. I'm actually not sure how many American viewers would even have recognized Pierre Trudeau as a name, since this joke was originally told in 2014, a full year before Pierre's son, Justin Trudeau, was elected Prime Minister of Canada. But either way, Trudeau's name is more recognizable than the other 2. But here's the thing, Jean Marchand, Gérald Pelletier, and Pierre Trudeau actually were three real people, three real French-Canadian politicians, and were collectively known as the Three Wise Men of Quebec. Norm wasn't joking about this, or at least not making it up. These three men were born in the late 1910s and rose to prominence in local Quebec politics during the 1949 asbestos strike, which took place in a Quebec town literally named Asbestos. I know that itself might sound like a joke as well, but it's true. This asbestos strike was a pretty typical strike of that era. The asbestos miners wanted more money and better conditions, meanwhile the mine owners said no. The Premier of Quebec at the time, Maurice Duplessis, supported the mine owners, and the strike was deemed illegal. I'm skipping a lot, but at the end of the day, the miners barely got much that they wanted, and the wealthy mine owners pretty much won again. But the French-Canadian lads, Jean Marchand, Gérald Pelletier, and Pierre Trudeau, who were all around 30 years old at the time, rose to prominence in Quebec as leaders of the striking movement, representing the poor and trodden down working class. This is particularly ironic because Pierre Trudeau himself was far from working class. His own father was actually a wealthy mine owner and industrialist himself, who passed away when Pierre was about 16 years old. Pierre Trudeau inherited about $5,000 from his late father at the time, which is about $100,000 today. So imagine having that kind of money when you were in your teens and 20s, and how much it would help you get involved in all sorts of strange and unusual activism or political movements, if you so wish to do so. Anyways, a few years later, when Quebec separatist sentiment was flaring up, Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson recruited these three wise men of Quebec to join his Liberal Party as a way to give the Quebecois some representation in the government and attempt to stifle or at least slow down this Quebec separatist sentiment. Anyways, this maybe or maybe didn't work, and eventually led to all sorts of nonsense that I won't get into in this video. But it also led to Pierre Trudeau himself becoming Prime Minister for 15 years, and later on his son, Justin Trudeau, becoming Prime Minister for nearly another 10 years. The lesser-known Jean Marchand served in various cabinet positions under the Trudeau government, while Gérald Pelletier also served as a cabinet minister numerous times, as well as the Canadian ambassador to France and to the United Nations. So for three seemingly throwaway names that Norm uses to build the joke, the reality is learning about these names offers an incredible deep dive into mid-century French-Canadian history, whose impacts are still being felt to this very day. I wonder what Norm would think about the state of Canada today. Oh yeah, one more little tidbit. The town of Asbestos, Quebec has since renamed itself to Val des Sources, which means Valley of the Springs, in an attempt to move away from the negative associations with asbestos. This only happened in 2020, so they did keep the asbestos name for quite a long time. But anyways, let's get back to the next interesting part of the joke.
And one time I was in Niagara Falls, and gosh, I went over to the Sea World there. You know how they have the Sea World? With the different fish.
I didn't know that, but okay, yes.
Beluga.
The Sea World, I've been
Sure.
there many a time.
Okay, so I was checking out the beluga whales and stuff, and I look over, and who do you think I see?
I hope it's that guy.
No, it was just an attendant, but he showed me to the place I wanted to see, which is where they feed the little baby dolphins, because I love dolphins, And who do I see there but Jacques de Gatineau? And here he is, he's feeding the baby dolphins.
So this part of the joke is one place where Norm likely misspeaks. He mentions SeaWorld, a name for numerous marine theme parks throughout America and the world. However, he specifically names Niagara Falls as the location of this park. In reality, there is no SeaWorld in Niagara Falls. Rather, there is a park called Marineland. Marineland is very famous to anyone who grew up or lived in Ontario for any period of time, and in fact is one of the most controversial of all animal parks in Canada. You see, Marineland was founded in 1961 by a fellow named John Holer, a Slovenian immigrant to Canada. It's just a few kilometers outside of the main Niagara Falls attractions and downtown area, which made it quite a great location for a day trip or outing with the family. You know, you go check out the amazing Niagara Falls and you head over to Marineland for the day. Marineland aired many commercials throughout the years, which promoted their new rides, particularly the Sky Screamer or Arctic Cove, and most pertinently to Norm's joke, they would often advertise their beluga whales. Norm almost gets mad at Conan for not knowing that Marineland had beluga whales, and I suppose this shows just how commonly known the park is in Canada, while Americans are more likely to know places like their own SeaWorld Orlando. But indeed, Marineland has long been controversial for its keeping of marine animals, especially mammals like orcas, dolphins, and the aforementioned beluga whales. They're trained to perform in your typical marine animal show, jumping through rings and all that stuff, but the park has received a lot of criticism for its quality of care, probably even much more criticism than other parks of the same nature. One common story is that they fed the grizzly bears in the park a regular diet of marshmallows, which is perhaps not their preferred diet. Some of the stories are pretty upsetting and strange and not worth getting into here, but the point is this. Marineland is a real place in Niagara Falls, and probably what Norm was trying to reference in this joke. For what it's worth, the jingle that plays at the end of Marineland commercials was often lampooned by many a young Canadian growing up by singing instead, "Everyone hates Marineland." In perhaps better news, the park ended up closing in 2024 and has been in all this legal hullabaloo ever since. The founder, that John Holer guy, passed away in 2018, and the park just really couldn't maintain itself after he passed away. Plus, with Canada's exploding population, the value of land in southern Ontario, where Niagara Falls is located, is just way too high to justify running some kind of unusual theme park and all the costs of keeping marine animals and whatnot. Even now, with the park closed, there are still like 30 beluga whales living there. There's this whole thing in the news about where to send them. China tried acquiring them, but the government of Canada refused for one reason or another, and now it looks like they might be sent to the United States, but that's all still being fleshed out. So there are still some employees, like a skeleton crew, working in the now closed Marineland, just keeping the remaining animals alive, which is kind of crazy and a bit unsettling to think about. The place was always controversial, and it's probably for the best that it's shutting down and the animals are leaving, and so on and so forth.
All of Témiscamingue, Quebec, pinned our hopes on you. Now that's a hell of a burden for a man to have a town's hope pinned on them, isn't it, Conan?
It is a big burden.
So he was feeding these baby dolphins, and I said, "I'm ashamed of you, Jacques Gatineau. You could have done so many great things." And he said, I think I'm serving a youthful porpoise. Now, I believe that...
So there, my friends, is the deep, hidden lore in Canadian history that Norm referenced and snuck into his youthful porpoise joke, the most convoluted joke ever, as Conan's YouTube channel describes it, and how Norm's genius may be even greater than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this look at strange and unusual Canadian topics, then please subscribe. I just started this channel and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start monetizing the videos and making some cool videos, which frankly I've been meaning to make for many years now.
More Quebecois humor.
I'm looking forward to exploring many more Canadian topics, including weird history, explainers for Canadiana, the crazy cost of housing crisis, all sorts of Canadian stuff, and who knows what else. So thanks for being one of the first 1,000 subscribers. Remember to turn the light off on your way upstairs tonight, and have a good night.
Traditionally, we all kind of perform alike.
Yeah.
Even though, and you have a real different cadence and structure. And because there is that comedy, people go to a comedy show, and in my day, you used to talk about commercials and airlines and things like. But it was always that if you didn't listen to what they were saying, there's also that rhythm, which I don't like anymore on traditional sitcoms. People are talking like they don't talk in life. So when you hear something fresh and new, it really sticks out. But again, people don't identify it as great at the beginning, I guess, like your parents.
Yeah,
But the other comics did.
Yeah, other comics just knew it was different and that I didn't waste any time. You know, when you tell a story, you can have 5 minutes without a laugh and people are still interested in the story. But when you're telling little one-liners, you're kidding me.
No! We just found out that Norm MacDonald passed away. Oh, my God. I love Norm MacDonald.
He's young. And there it goes.
I don't know what to say.
Me either. That was breaking news, but you'll know now when you listen to this when we recorded it. Oh, I'm just heartbroken.
Jesus.
I love Norm. Norm is from my home country, Canada, and from my home club, Yuck Yucks. And I've worked with him many times. Do you know Norm?
Yeah, we worked together on Last Comic Standing. I took the job because I wanted to work with Norm MacDonald, and we fought every day.
You fought with him?
We not like getting, but we would joke back and forth with each other, and it took a little while for us to gel. You know, that he would say something and I would make fun of it, and he was like, "Why is the host making fun of the judge?" Keenan Ivory Wayans,
Right.
Roseanne, they were all like, "Why is he being mean to us?" And that was just the way I did things.
Right.
But I was thrilled to be able to work with Norm MacDonald and get to know him a little bit. Huge influence on me of just, if you believe in the joke, the audience doesn't have to necessarily,
Right.
Because you get it. Like his Weekend Update was
Amazing.
legendary to me and just one of the greatest of all time. I don't, these don't affect me that often, but this is a tough.
What does it say? I didn't read it. What did he die from? Somebody in the control. What did he pass from?
It was cancer.
Has he
He
been
had
sick?
cancer?
9 years.
He's had 9 years of cancer.
I had no idea. I know he had like a heart surgery or something a while
Of
ago.
what? Cancer of what?
He kept it a secret from his family and friends.
From what did he have cancer of?
We're looking at it right now.
Oh my God!
So not even
fuck.
his family knew.
I wish I'd been nicer to him.
9 years ago. How many years ago did you do Last Comic Standing?
It feels like yesterday. It sucked so bad, but I want to say 2013, 2012, maybe. So yeah,
So he already had cancer.
He was making his comeback at that point.
Yeah. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Norm had one of the funniest stories he ever told on the Tonight Show about his father. Do you know about his father and Bill Cosby?
No.
No, not his. He told this on the Tonight Show. He told the story. It's one of my favorite stories because it's real. Again, Bill Cosby was on SNL as a guest host when Norm was there, and he tells the story about his dad got him into comedy. Norm MacDonald's dad would sit him down every time there was a comedian on the Tonight Show or wherever. He would sit him down and make him watch, and they would watch Cosby together. Cosby stand up, and they would laugh. That was his father and him bonding moment, and maybe the reason he got into comedy. So when Cosby was on the show, he went up and he said, "Mr. Cosby, you know, I just want to tell you that I think you're the reason I'm in comedy. You are my dad's favorite comedian, and he used to make me sit down in front of the TV and watch you, and that's what inspired me to go into comedy, but you're his favorite." And Cosby says to him, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "I'm from Ottawa, Canada." And Cosby says, "I'm playing Ottawa. I'm on tour. I'm going to be playing Ottawa in 2 weeks. Give me your dad's number. I'll call him, and I'll bring him to the show." And Norm goes, "That's amazing." He goes, "What's his number?" And he wrote down his number, and then he walked away and he started sweating. And one of his friends said to him, "What's wrong, Norm?" He goes, "Well, I told him that story. And then once he said, I'm going to call him, I was too uncomfortable to tell him my father died 5 years ago." So I just wrote down a bullshit number, and that's it. And they go, "How could you do that, Norm?" 2 weeks goes by. Norm is sitting in his office. They get a call. They said, "Norm, Bill Cosby is on line 2. This is 2 weeks later. And he picks up the phone and he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "Listen, I'm in Ottawa and your dad's not answering. They said that this number is disconnected that you gave me. What is his number?" And I can't remember for the life of me the end of the story, but Norm was stuck on the phone and he didn't want to say, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that he's dead." Like, at what point do you kind of break this to Bill Cosby? It was one of the funniest, real, uncomfortable, and that kind of comedy is the kind of comedy that when people are uncomfortable. And when Norm MacDonald told that real life story, it's really funny, but oh my God, his father's dead. He's in a, it's
How do you get out of that? Yeah.
yeah, there was no way.
Was there an ending?
I can't remember the ending, and I wasn't prepared for this story, and I remember I hear it a lot. I'm just kind of bowled over by the loss of somebody younger than me, too.
I was that made me think of a Norm MacDonald story he had told about having Rodney Dangerfield on SNL. He was just going to come and do a weekend update, a little bit about not getting respect, and Norm had an assistant who just had one joke he told. It's an off-color joke. I'll tell it anyway. He said a gay guy goes to his roommate. He says, "Hey, I'm going to hide, and if you can find me, I'll suck your dick." And he goes, "Well, what if I can't find you?" And he goes, "I'll be behind the couch." And he told that to everyone. And he has the assistant. He's like, "Tell Rodney the joke." And he tells Rodney the joke, and Rodney doesn't laugh at all. And he goes, "I got to tell you, kid, I'm not much for jokes." And Norm thought that was the Rodney Dangerfield, like Mr. Joke.
I know.
Would be like, "I'm not much for jokes."
I
We just
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love the stories. I cannot believe.
61.
So young, but he's been sick for 9 years and nobody knew.
Great.
See, this is a well-oiled machine.
No, listen, I'd say no to podcasts all the time. I would not be here if I didn't respect the hell out of you and, of course, your dad
That means
as well.
that means
and,
a lot.
And want to do this. I just can't believe I came here to find out Norm MacDonald died. Like that's
God.
That's a gut punch.
It really is a gut punch, and it kind of, I'll be totally honest with you, it is a gut punch that kind of brought my mood down because, he is somebody, and even doubly because to not know that he was sick, I feel like I would have wanted to be there for him, or at least, but maybe that it's his choice.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about death a lot, and that I'm sure he went out the way that he wanted to. I'm thinking about the assholes in the booth over there who were like, "Let's flash this on the screen during a podcast."
Yeah, who is
Rich.
the asshole?
That was Rich. That was for sure Rich.
Was that
Yeah.
you?
It was like, this will be
Alex?
Yeah, no, we thought you might want to talk about it or we'd get it up like this week because it means a lot to the comedy world.
great. Yeah, surprise us with that and let us react in real time. That's great.
Oh my God, that is a gut punch. We love you, Norm. We love your comedy. He was a good human being. He was somebody that I think we're all going to miss.
100%. I mean, one of the greatest of all time. And
He really is.
This only like solidifies his legacy. I think that people
Really?
will.
I thought he
go
was
back
really
and-
treated unfairly at SNL when he was fired. There was no reason to fire him.
I think he pushed the buttons that he knew that if he kept doing this, he was going to get fired. It was all the OJ jokes. But I think he went out on his own terms, and I think that's kind of what made him a legend. The fact that he never had the huge hit sitcom, he didn't become Seinfeld, I think added to his legend. That I think he had an amazing career, and his comedy output is unparalleled. That he'll never be forgotten.
Good to see you on these.
Well, hey, Donald.
Okay, good.
You're
Now,
going to show both of us how to cook something fantastic today. Is that
yes,
correct?
we're going to do the most amazing red mullet with some fennel orange, and on the back of how bad you were last time, this is going to be cooked in a bag.
Okay, we're going to cook this in a bag.
Yes.
You are known. You clap your hands a lot.
Yes.
You yell at people. You're intimidating. This is going to go very badly.
Good size, you two guys. Now,
All right,
come on.
very good.
Right, first thing I want you to do is to segment an orange,
All
okay?
right.
Norm?
Yeah?
Wakey, wakey. Okay.
Well, no one else in the world says segment an orange.
Yeah. You just cut the edges off. That's what you want, right?
No,
you want
you've already started the wrong end. Look, that's the bit there.
All right. Well,
So
okay.
just top and tail it like that. Look, come on, wake up, stand there.
I'm up to 4 segments. Well, you didn't tell me a number of segments.
No.
He wants the edges off, I
What am I
think.
supposed to do?
Hey!
Okay, Norm, so you go from there, look, all the way round.
Yeah.
Yes?
7 minutes of
Okay.
audio will play for this
Now,
whole hour.
All the way there. Once you've gone all
Between
the
you
way
two
round.
guys. All right,
Yeah.
here we go, yeah.
Conan, pay attention, please.
Yeah,
Watch.
all right, I'm over here. I got my own orange going.
Okay,
All right.
watch. All the way round, so we're taking off the skin.
all
Then
right.
from there.
You're not teaching me, you're
No.
just showing off.
And then from there, that's a segment.
There you go. All right.
Basic.
Cheerio and
Left
chop
and
chop.
right.
There we go.
Okay.
All
Off you go.
right.
Now
I'll
watch
do
your
that.
fingers.
I'll
Now.
do that.
All right.
And then after that,
All right.
Okay.
Now look at this. Mine's pretty good
Sure.
over here. There's some
Sure.
sections of skin still, but what the hell?
where's the orange going?
And it's like 1 in the morning. Who,
We'll forget that one. Right, fennel. Okay, here we go. Now with the fennel, okay.
All right. Whoa,
Just
okay.
push it off and just
Yep.
slice that down nice and thin.
That I
okay?
can do. That
okay.
looks. See, that was explained.
Watch your
I
fingers.
segmented another one.
Where's the segment?
What?
Where is Where is it?
I threw it over there.
Oh, jeez. Okay, look.
All right, I'm doing well, Gordon. I will
That's
be
the
the
good
one.
part. That's the inside part.
Okay,
All right, stop yelling.
Okay. Okay,
sorry, good.
right, that's great.
All right.
Now from there, take your bag.
All right.
Okay, now we'll do one each, okay?
Why would you become a cook?
Come on, Norm, keep it together. Okay. It's not that bad. Big boy.
Okay, all right.
The word chef.
Chef,
All right.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
chef. You're right. I'm sorry.
Ladies cook.
I
Okay.
know.
All right. Whoa.
Right. That's a joke. Oh. All right.
No, you're
Okay.
Hey! We can bleep out the swears, but when there's this going around, I can't do anything with that. What the hell was that?
I was waving.
All right, so we got the vegetables in the bag.
Okay, right, fennel.
Fennel. The fennel goes in the bag. That's what you would need the bag.
I need
Stop it!
Okay.
None of this will air.
Okay.
You're going to show an
Okay.
old F troop in this
Right,
section.
so, fennel.
All right, fennel in here.
Okay, on
By
there.
the way, there's a bottle of booze.
Oh, hey.
No one is supposed to be following me.
All right, so we
oranges.
put oranges in
Okay,
here.
And then
This
from
is a
there,
mess.
red
Okay.
mullet.
Red mullet is a kind
no,
of fish?
knife doesn't go in the bag.
I got you.
You'll slice someone's throat open, Norm.
Yeah.
Okay, right. From there, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, olive oil.
Okay, little olive oil, little
Now,
aglio de olio.
now from there, now watch carefully, a little bit of seasoning. Okay.
Whoa, okay.
Norm, you're making me feel dizzy standing there looking busy. Right, here we go.
This is
Okay,
cool.
I'll tell you one thing, man. I'm not eating this.
You haven't even tasted it
Why are we
yet.
even having a cooking segment at this point? Why would there even be a cooking segment? Why would anybody even have a cooking segment with you people?
Here we go. Right,
Ridiculous.
No, right here. Right, fold the bag over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and tight.
All right.
Okay. And then from there, twist the paper so
Twist the
seal
paper.
the ends.
All right.
Nice and tight.
God, I hope he's
Nice
a
and-
magician.
Nice and tight.
A bird's gonna come out. Yeah, all right, here we go.
All the way
right.
all the way round.
All right,
Okay.
no, chop, chop.
Now,
Yeah.
from there, a little hole.
A little hole.
Okay.
Right there.
And then from there, pour a little bit of wine in there.
It's a big waste of wine right there, buddy boy.
Okay.
All right, right
and
in
then
here.
from there, turn it round. Okay.
What?
Come on, no. You're gonna be tight. Tight.
He does it and then goes, look what Norm did.
We got to nice and tight.
This is not going to air. This will never be seen by anybody. This will never be seen by anybody.
Just concentrate.
We've learned. Okay,
Okay.
what does it look like at
Okay.
the end? Oh,
Right.
look, it just came out magically from a pan.
This is how it's cooked. As it cooks,
Oh, yeah.
it steams inside the bag, okay? Then you rip it open, and there you got a beautifully steamed red mullet, orange, and fennel.
It never gets better than that. Do it exactly the way we did, using the same language and the same obscene gestures. Gordon Ramsay, Norm MacDonald, my apologies. I'll be right back. Leland Helm is here.
I hate fake humility.
The idea of like somebody being good for the cause or the resistance or whatever. First of all, that's meaningless. That fucking, you know, you got to go back and look at all that Norm MacDonald shit. You know that interview Norm MacDonald did where he was like, "Oh yeah, everybody thought Hitler was hilarious prior to him running to power, you know, or like getting into power. There was comics about him, and everyone thought he was a big joke. And then he did the Holocaust. So there goes your notion of comedy being powerful.
Yeah, that's the one where he's like,
Norm rules.
If you
man.
tell
He
me
gets
one,
everything right.
if you tell me one socially relevant joke that's funny,
That's
I'll
also
give you
funny.
$1 million.
Norm fucking rocks.
And they're like, what about all this identity-based comedy like Aziz and Amy Schumer? He's like, yeah, everyone expects comedians to be modern day philosophers, which I think is really insulting to modern day philosophers.
People go to school, study philosophy.
He's like, you're not a philosopher because you try to fuck waitresses.
I know, man. Norm
So
fucking
good.
rocks.
He's the best.
Have you seen the new special? I haven't finished all of it.
I haven't seen
was
it, but I
so
heard it's
stoned.
good.
It was good.
And they dropped retard like 4 or 5 times in the article.
That was, by the way, that was
Pretty
the funniest
dope.
part of Norm MacDonald getting in trouble for whatever.
Is in the apology.
In the
He said
apology,
Down
he's like,
syndrome.
you'd have to be someone with Down syndrome not to feel sorry for victims.
Real bad sexual abuse.
I do too.
Rape, everything.
Yes.
and they
It
go
destroys
through.
their
It destroys their life. They're never the same.
Oh, of course not.
Their whole bodies shake at the thought of it. Some of them even black out when they think about this thing. It's horrible. So
I know that, and of course, you'd have to have Down syndrome.
Not to know that.
My new word.
Down syndrome. Right. That's a good word.
You'd have to have Down syndrome to not feel sorry for, of course, I have. Me too is what you want for your daughters. You know what I mean? And
he is our guy.
He's a champion.
He is our guy.
He's a fucking champion.
He's the best stand-up in the
once
world.
the smoke clears from all of this shit and it's okay to rape girls again, they should build a statue for Norm Macdonald.
Well, he didn't rape anyone.
I know he didn't rape anyone, but
he's
to say
actually
that,
like you. He's like anti-horny.
Of course, but he's like that.
Nah, he's horny. He's just ashamed of it, like Nick.
No, to do that in apology is masterful.
It really is.
Yeah. Because he knows exactly.
He knows what he's doing.
I think he's kind of removed enough from society. I had a long conversation with my friend Max about this, but yeah.
Well, if you had a conversation with Max.
We don't have to talk about it.
I didn't realize Max already settled.
Max weighed in.
Yeah, we can talk to Max about it. We bring Max on the pod.
This motherfucker said like he literally talked to Norm.
No.
We already had a long time. Me and Max
we talked about it.
Me and my landlord already figured this out.
Me and my landlord. No, his mom is my landlord.
Anyway, well, at least you guys got to the bottom of it.
No, we randomly talked about it for 40 minutes, and he's like, "Oh, that's so calculated. Like Norm knows that that's going to piss people off, and his fans are going to think it's hilarious." But
it did piss people off, and his fans
did think it was hilarious.
Vis-a-vis me,
yeah,
and Stavros.
He's the best.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
he's the best.
To throw that in his apology.
That's my new word, Down syndrome.
That's my new word. I'm gonna start using that.
What an apology! Unbelievable.
And then he had a third apology.
Did he?
I think he fucked up again.
That rule.
Yeah.
He should just see how much he could fuck up, because who gives a shit, right?
Well, part of the interview, the first interview, made me think that maybe he wasn't doing bits and he is kind of removed from society. Like when he said that he doesn't know racism, he didn't know racism existed until he saw the new Sacha Baron Cohen show.
I love Norm, but I also do think he is out of touch as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's in comedy clubs 250 nights a year. He's like constantly, or gambling.
Also, the thing about Norm Macdonald, like I read his book, and even though it's like a fictionalized thing, it's like that motherfucker like grew up in a farm in rural ass Canada.
Yeah.
Like his life is his childhood is close to like the Great Depression than like living in modern society.
Well, I think some of that was like hammed up for.
I know it was, but still, I mean, I don't think it's literal, but he did grow up in like
his book is
rural
so
Canada in
fucking
like
good.
the 40s, 50s. Like how old is he?
I don't know.
What if it comes out too?
No, later than that.
Norm Macdonald is threatening Seth Simons on the.
What does he say?
So Seth Simons goes same energy, and he posted a picture of the Joker and Donald Trump, which is like,
God.
Oh my God!
You fucking loser!
And fucking Norm Macdonald wrote, "Hey, you fucking piece of shit. It's you that's the Joker, a failed stand-up that kills someone who got a TV show. I cannot wait to meet you, and I will."
Damn, dude.
Yeah. That's so sick.
That is awesome. Norm's just like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck.
Is it really my fault? 'Cause you try to hit me with your pity till I can't. And then it's about to go down. We're here to stay and run this town. Bring in the heat, bring in the energy. We're the queens of the festival, can't you see? We're the queens of the festival, here to rule the stage. Dropping beats and make your body engage. From sunrise to sunset, we're taking it all. We're the festival queens standing tall. Ooh, yeah, ooh. From dawn till dusk, we command the crowd's gaze. Every beat, every rhyme sets our souls ablaze. With swagger and style, we own this domain. In the realm of music, we reign supreme, no chain. Feel the rhythm pulsating through your veins. Our verses ignite, fire never wane. With each lyric we spit, each move we make, we carve our legacy, leaving jaws to quake. We're the queens of the festival, here to rule the stage. Dropping beats and make your body engage. From sunrise to sunset, we're taking it all. We're the festival queens standing tall. Ooh, I get it. Ooh, no crown needed. defeated our odds, the crown jewel in the kingdom of sound. We never play the fool with beats as our scepters and rhymes as our decree. We're the sovereigns of rhythm for all to see. So bow down to the queens as we own the night. In the kingdom of music, we're the guiding light. From the first note to the last, we'll always be the festival queens, forever wild and free. But I still push on. Got me changing my ways, trying to fix it.
I'm still figuring out what's going on. I'm looking at Ashley
Is that
Judd and I can't help
Mark
it.
Norm MacDonald?
No.
No.
That could be a new character.
No, it can't. They're too similar.
Yeah, there's not
they
enough.
really sound similar.
Come on, Adam.
They
you
don't
know the
sound
formula.
similar. They fucking
Their jokes.
they're both comedians.
They're both observational.
Yeah. Well, how would you even do that? Try that out for a spin, Adam.
I just do like a Norm joke, and then I'd say kidding. Or
Kidding.
something.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, you're right.
All right. I don't know.
It's not good, but
It's not good,
but it's
it
functional.
works. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Thank you.
I'll give you that, and also give you 5 3/4 of something else.
As always, I was waiting for the joke to start, and it finished before it started.
Hi everyone,
Hello,
I'm Veronica,
and I'm Valdemar.
and today we're watching NORM MACDONALD yet again. I'm gonna ignore you. And today we're watching NORM MACDONALD yet again, and this is a kind of a follow-up a little bit to the video that we watched last time, which was NORM MACDONALD is married to a real battle axe. Because in that video we had an important question for you, and that was who's that other guy who's sitting in the chair by NORM MACDONALD and not saying anything. And we found out he's Andy.
I knew he was Andy. I knew his name.
And what is his surname? We did not find it. Well, we found that out, but we do not remember. But we found out that he is, in fact, part of the show, and that he's sitting
I
there.
knew
He's
that
like,
before. I told you that he is a part of the show.
But you were asking them if that's how it is. And you were like, what's about this? What's this deal about him?
Yes, but I knew that he is a part of the show.
Yeah, you knew.
You found out this.
Yeah, I found
I
this
knew.
out. And your knowledge was confirmed then. But anyway, a lot of you said that Norm likes poking jokes at him. And that we should... Yeah, I did that. I know. And that we should check out one of the jokes that he made, and specifically this one.
Yeah, you recommended this video. It's called NORM MACDONALD Swedish-German joke.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty short one, so... Well, let's
see.
Let's see.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
For Norm, always.
Always ready. There you go.
He's good, man.
Ooh, what is this quality?
We did a quick search to see if there's a better quality of the video available, but there's not, so we're just gonna have to focus on listening.
He's good, man. He's good.
That's a can-do, Norm. You came charging out like
Yeah, because people, look at this audience, man. They don't care about that. Why? They like jokes. They got flags. They got flags.
Yeah, they got flags and they're scoring you. You've got 3 9s and an 8 so far.
Wow.
For your
Where are you
entrance.
guys from, man? Oh, sweet. That's Sweden?
Yeah.
God bless you, man. Everything's good about, you know, you're an Irishman. My mother, she was orange. My father, he was green. It was the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. I'm Scottish. I'm a Scot. You're Irish.
Yes.
What are you?
Swedish-German.
Swedish-German? Are you really?
Yeah, really. Why would I lie about that? It's not funny.
It's very odd, 'cause
It's a very strange lie. I put one over on those people. Yeah.
Swedish-German.
No, I'll tell you why it's funny, man, because I was in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I met a good old boy down there, and he said, he said, you know Andy Richter?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah. You met a guy in Georgia and he said, you know Andy Richter?
Oh, yeah, you guys know
Oh,
that.
it's mean.
And he said, I said, yeah. He said, have you ever heard of Andy Richter joke? I said, no. He said, well, most of it's based on him being Swedish-German. And then he told me an Andy Richter joke. And
Really?
But I didn't know he was Swedish-German. I thought it was all nonsense.
Yeah, well, now this lines up perfectly. Let me ask you something, because it sort of relates to the first...
Wait, don't you want to hear the joke?
No.
Six.
Oh, you're down to 6. You're down down to 6. All right, this joke will get you back up.
You can get him back.
Let's hear the joke.
Well, the fellow says, man, he says, you ever hear the time about the old prospector? That's how he talks, you know?
Yeah.
He says, man, there was an old prospector, and he was prospecting for gold, and he was having a hell of a time getting any gold. It was an empty stake, I believe. And he said he'd come into town one day. He'd been in the mine for a good 8 months. He said, by God, he said, I'm only flesh and blood. Sure. Yeah. And I need a woman, you know. And so he goes into town. He goes up to the bartender. He says, bartender, he says, man, I've been in that mine for a hell of a long time, and I'm only flesh and blood. I need a woman. Well, the bartender says, hell, there ain't no women in this town. If you want to do any of that business, all we got is Andy Richter, the Swedish German. The prospector, he says, no, he says, hell, I ain't into that funny stuff, you know. He says, I'll be fine. So he goes back to his state, you know, and he's back in that mine, man, and 6 months passes, and a year passes, and Conan, you know, people are weak. Man is made of flesh and pride, as the scriptures tell us, and by God, that old prospector finally broke to his knees and he said, I'm no worse than he went back to the bar. He was a beaten man. He says to the bartender, he says, hell, man, I've been in that place 2.5 years. A man has needs. And if you say there's no women in this here town, he says, well, I'll have to go for Andy Richter, the Swedish German. But he says, listen now, he says, man, I'm a tough old hombre, you know, and I got friends now. He says, I don't want anybody to know about this. You know, this is back in the old days.
Sure, yeah.
He says,
I can tell by the accent, yeah.
He says, I got my cowpoke friends and so forth. I'd hate to hell anybody know about this. You know, this got to be all secret. Nobody. I say nobody can know about this. Bartender says, well, 4 people will know about it. How do you figure that? He says, well, he says, I'll know about it. He says, you'll know about it. Andy Richter, the Swedish German, will know about it. And the fella that has to hold down Andy will know about it.
Why?
Why? Because Andy Richter, the Swedish German, he don't go for that funny business neither.
At least you left me my dignity.
Yeah.
I like the way that story ended.
Yeah,
that was a nice.
You weren't gay.
Right. Yeah. No, but that's not beside the point.
You were raped.
No, it's more. It's more that I wasn't prostituting myself.
But that's exactly him. Because the joke is well over, but it's not over. He's like, oh, I like this joke. You were raped. You didn't get that? It was the turtle.
As always, I was waiting for the joke to start, and it finished before it started.
That was really, really good. Oh my god, thank you for recommending that. I was really... This is so nonsensical. What the hell? Like, why?
I don't understand. Like, did he came up with this joke just sitting there when he heard that he is Swedish German, or he planned?
He has like a stock of jokes, and then he put him into that one because like he wanted to tell it earlier, but he was like, I can actually just say it was Andy who was violated sexually. I don't know. Oh my god. But I love how Conan just stood up and he was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm leaving.
The funniest part of this joke was how he was keep repeating Andy.
The Swedish German.
Andy Richter, I forgot.
Andy Richter, the Swedish German, yeah.
We watched with Veronica. Play It Again Some, the movie of Woody Allen.
Yesterday.
Right? And the funniest part for Veronica, the best part of the movie for Veronica, was how this guy, Dick,
every time,
how he was repeating his numbers.
It was so hilarious though. If you have a good joke, why not do it 15 times? I say do it 15 times. It's just because it was so funny. Because he has to he was like a financial broker, right? And he had to call wherever he was so that people would get back to him. And then he would say, I'll be here at this number for 10 minutes. And then I will be going at this number for 10 minutes. And then I'll be somewhere. And then at more and more ridiculous locations, he would call that he's there. Very funny. Top Dutch comedy. Really funny. Oh, it was funnier than the bit with the hairdryer.
Oh, definitely.
So yes.
All right, but it was the only video that people recommended for us about the director?
No, there's stuff to come in the future still. We can all be excited. I think there's so many jokes of Norm that we still haven't watched. I'm so happy. It's so nice. It's so funny.
Okay, well, thank you for watching, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. And, as always, leave us some suggestions either for other clips of Norm or other comedians that we haven't watched yet. That helps us a lot because otherwise you're the only people we trust to recommend us good comedians. Because if we haven't seen them, either of us, then we don't know if they are good or not. So counting on either. And of course, you could also give us a like and subscribe. And why am I the only one always nagging people about this? It helps us a lot if you subscribe and give a like and comment.
Because I'm not a person to nag other people about things, unlike you. Well,
leave a like for me then and not for Valdemar. You can leave a like and then say in the comments that it was just for me.
But we will all know for whom did you really subscribe.
Oh, for whom? Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I just dropped a video of Norm MacDonald, you feel me? Make sure you go watch it. I said I'm gonna watch another one because the other one, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, the video had me a little confused, but so I'm trying to know his humor more. So here we got Norm MacDonald mott jokes. So hey, let's get straight into it.
I'm saying with Norm MacDonald, and now not all your material comes.
What language is this, bro?
From the news, is that right?
No, some of my material my strongest material comes from real life.
Real life?
Like, for instance, today I was driving in a car. You were kind enough to bring a car to bring this old chunk of coal here to the studio.
We send cars for our guests, yes.
Yeah, so I got in it, and I get material that way. So my driver...
What do you mean? How do you get material that way? You get in the car, and what happens?
My driver tells me a joke.
The driver we sent to pick you up told you a joke.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell it now on the show.
Yeah, that's how I get all my material.
Okay.
All right,
Why don't
let's
we
get
just
it,
have
boy.
him on next time?
That guy. No, wait till you hear me do it. So the guy, he goes, I say, I'll be the guy.
So he just stole his driver's joke.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office, right?
Bro, what is a podiatrist's office, bro? I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what it is, man.
You're correct. A moth goes into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist's office says, "What's the problem?" And the moth says, "What's the problem? Where do I begin, man?" He goes, "I go to work for Gregory Linovich, and all day long I work." Honestly, Doc, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if Gregory Linovich knows. He only knows that he has power over me, and that seems to bring him happiness. But I don't know. I wake up in a malaise, and I walk here and there. The podiatrist says, "Oh, yeah?" And the moth goes, "Yes." And he goes, "At night, I sometimes wake up and I turn to some old lady in my bed that's on my arm. A lady that I once loved, Doc. I don't know where to turn to. My youngest, Alexandria. She fell in the cold of last year."
But this punchline better be good, because I have no idea what bro is talking about.
The cold took her down, as it did many of us. And my other boy, and this is the hardest pill to swallow, Doc. My other boy, Gregaro Ivanilidovich. I no longer love him. As much as it pains me to say, when I look in his eyes, all I see is the same cowardice that I catch when I take a glimpse of my own face in the mirror. If only the cowardice was stronger, then perhaps I could bring myself to reach over to that cocked and loaded gun that lays on the bedside behind me and end this hellish facade once and for all.
How long a drive was this? Do you live in the valley? Where do you live? Please, sorry.
Boy, let him get to it, bro.
He says, Doc, sometimes I feel like a spider, even though I'm a moth, just barely hanging on to my web with an everlasting fire underneath me. I'm not feeling good. And so the doctor says, Moth, man, you're trouble. But you should be seeing a psychiatrist. Why on earth did you come here? And then the moth said, because the light was on.
Bro. But hold on, though.
Tell it now on the show.
Yeah, that's how.
Why don't we just have...
No, wait till you hear me do it.
I gotta know what he said.
I say, I'll be the guy.
Okay.
A moth goes into a podiatrist.
I need to know what a podiatrist is, bro. Podiatrist. Because I feel like I'm not really getting the joke, bro. What's a podiatrist? Chiropodist? What? Nah, podiatrist. Oh, a podiatrist is a medical professional devoted to the treatment of disorders of the foot, ankle. Oh, okay. I know this. Cause I still don't get it though. What? It's not me, right? I'm not the slow one here.
So Norm.
What?
Cause the light was on. You know, cause like moths be going to like the light and shit. Yeah. Hi, in case you didn't know.
We're pretty much out of time.
Bro, listen, bro. It's just like the first reaction I did, bro. The joke led me to nowhere. Norm MacDonald, bro. I guess this is your humor, bro. Yeah. Alright, man. If you haven't watched already, I just did a reaction to Norm MacDonald. Make sure you go watch it. I dropped it before this one. I was actually trying to see more of his work with this video here. I think I'm gonna need to see more of his work from another video. So hey, y'all like, subscribe, and comment down below what Norm MacDonald video I should do. You feel me? Yeah, man. Yeah. Catch you on the next one, man. Peace out.
So let me say a couple of words about Norm, for God's sakes. I did feel a closeness to him because he'd been on the show so many times. A couple of times over the years, you remember when Norm was on Saturday Night Live, he used to do this Bob Dole impression, Senator Bob Dole. And a couple of times I had asked Norm, would you be willing to get in full makeup and come on and be Bob Dole? Because I always thought it was so great, his impression. And it was just funny, and he had funny lines. And Norm said, you know, it's a tremendous pain in the ass to get into that Bob Dole makeup. He said, but I love the show and I love you guys so much, I'll do it. And he would do it. And he would come in as Bob Dole, and it was always funny. And over the years, he'd come in, tell stories. And, you know, he's Norm. He's a legend. And I always thought it was a big sin that Norm got fired from Saturday Night Live. Norm was on Saturday Night Live for 5 seasons. He hosted Weekend Update for 3 years. He was great at it, you know, with that deadpan delivery. Here he is delivering a joke, doing the fake news.
And in a related story, this week marked the 5,000th performance of the Broadway musical Cats. It also marked the 5,000th time a guy turned to his wife and said, "What the hell is this?"
Norm started his career as a stand-up comedian. He appeared on The Letterman Show in 1990. He told me a great story once on the air about his dream was to appear on The Tonight Show before Johnny Carson retired.
I went to Los Angeles, California, and Johnny Carson had already announced his retirement.
Right.
And Johnny Carson, as you know, used to be able to anoint comedians. I said, I'm going to be the last comedian to be anointed by Johnny Carson.
Right.
So Jim McCauley would come to the show, you know.
He's the talent scout for the Tonight Show, yeah.
He goes, listen, you're a J comic. Because Jay Leno was doing it Monday night, you know, he was the guest host.
Right.
So I go, no, I think I'm a Johnny comic. That's what all my friends say, you know. And he's like, no, Jay. And then he's like, if you do good on Jay, Johnny will watch at home, you know, which again, even
an audition.
Knew was a lie. I go on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I do my set. I destroy, and then I come over and during the commercial, Jay goes, it was all right. It went okay.
Wait a second. Did you ever get to be on the Carson Show?
I
No.
never got to meet him. I mean, I never
But by
got
the
to be
way-
on his show, and then I got to meet him personally, in person.
But I could never say to another radio guy, hey, man, that was okay, your show. It was you know what I mean? Like Jay saying that.
It was just a little baby passive-aggressive.
Jay being great again.
Yeah, it was okay. But then Norm got the gig on Saturday Night Live in 1993. One of the funny things he did was his impression of Burt Reynolds. Here's a little clip to remember Norm on Celebrity Jeopardy. He's standing there as Burt Reynolds, and he fucking looked like Burt Reynolds. It was crazy.
This condiment is made from mustard seeds. Burt Reynolds.
That's not my name.
Okay. Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, what do you want?
Let's see. Chevy Chase posted on Instagram, I first met Norm after he played the newsman on SNL. He was the best of all, next to myself. I know I'm just kidding now because I'm all teared up. But Norm was fired by Saturday Night Live because of this guy named Don Ohlmeyer. He was president of NBC's West Coast division, and Ohlmeyer was friends with O.J. Simpson, and Norm feels he got fired because he was making too many O.J. jokes.
In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's probably...
Great delivery. David Letterman tweeted, in every important way in the world of stand-up, Norm was the best. An opinion shared by me and all peers. Always up to something, never certain, until his matter-of-fact delivery leveled you. I was always delighted by his bizarre mind and earnest gaze. Norm used to do a David Letterman impression on Saturday Night Live. And, you know, it was weird for Norm because, you know, he loves David Letterman, so he didn't want Letterman to take it the wrong way. But I'll give you a sample of it.
It's a great cast. You got Meryl Streep, Diane Keaton. Oh, and you know who I particularly enjoyed in the film was Chong.
He was good. He was very good.
You hear that, Paul? He enjoys Chong.
But Norm came on our show, and I was like, what happened when you did Letterman? And he told this great story.
I was like, I don't want to fucking make fun of it because I love David Letterman. You
Sure.
know? So I'm like, I'll just try to do as exact an impression as possible, but not make a comment on it, like not say, you know, not make fun of him. And shit.
You're right.
And so anyways, then he phones me like the next day, and he's like, I'm talking to him, and he's not bringing it up. You know?
Wow.
So it goes on for about 5 minutes where we're talking about nothing. So then I just blurt out, I go, hey, I did an impression of you last night.
Oh, you're kidding.
Obviously, that's why I was phoning, you know?
Right, yeah. Aye.
So then all he said was, he goes, oh, yeah, you know, no. He goes, I don't mind it. It's all right. He goes, Joe Piscopo did an impression of me once, and I didn't care for that because that guy's not funny.
But great story. I love that Dave called him and didn't say anything. And then finally, Norm couldn't take the pressure and blurted out, I did an impression of you. Speaking of impressions, Dana Carvey did an impression of Norm for us. You also do a great Norm MacDonald.
Hey, you get Norm. You know, it's a funny thing, you know, water, right? They bring your water here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything is like, you know, it's like a couch here. Like you want to sleep, right? You want to lay down, right? But you know what? You're not supposed to lay down, right?
Yeah.
You know, but you want to lay down when you see a couch, right? You know what I mean?
He was a great force, I felt, on Saturday Night Live.
Totally.
And he was fired like with no dignity. And the guy who fired him was
Never
like,
understood it.
Norm's not funny. Norm is fucking funny.
Oh, oh man, he's unbelievably funny.
Adam Sandler tweeted, every one of us loved Norm. Some of the hardest laughs of my life with this man. Most fearless, funny, original guy we knew. Sarah Silverman tweeted Norm was in a comedy genre of his own. No one like him on the planet. Please do yourself a favor and watch his stuff. He was one of a kind of all time. Norm actually talked to us a little bit about his feelings on death. Whenever I'm talking with someone, I always ask them about death. Because I'm so freaked out about death.
I don't remember this.
So keep in mind that he had already secretly been fighting cancer for 4 years at this point.
I was in Edmonton in this hotel. I was doing stand-up, and my agent phoned me and said, turn on your computer, look at your Wikipedia. And my Wikipedia said I was dead.
Oh,
great.
My Wikipedia said I had overdosed the night before. And I am telling you, Howard, even though of course, you know it's not true. At first you go, well, I don't know. But it
shakes you?
It shakes you. And you want to know why it shakes you?
Why?
Because you understand that one day those will be the words.
Right.
And all it is they just change the tenses. Instead of Norm MacDonald is an American comedian, it's Norm MacDonald was.
Who do you think changed it? Was it just some
Apparently, any folks can do it.
Can go on there and do
I don't
that.
know who makes them in the first place.
Do you think about death a lot? I mean, it is a freaky thing. They say most people can't spend more than like a minute or two actually contemplating their own demise.
Is that right?
Yeah, like it's almost impossible for a brain to do that.
Well, that's interesting. I guess that's why you do anything is to avoid that. That's
Right.
why you do stuff in life.
That's right.
To avoid that thought, because if well, I mean, we don't want to talk about that.
So there's Norm. Rest in peace, Norm. Conan tweeted, Conan O'Brien, of course, I am absolutely devastated about Norm MacDonald. Norm had the most unique comedic voice I have ever encountered, and he was so relentlessly and uncompromisingly funny. I will never laugh that hard again. I'm so sad for us all today because, I have watched this clip of Conan's show so many times. It was so great. Norm was a guest. And the actress Courtney Thorne-Smith, she was promoting a movie she had done with Carrot Top.
Oh, boy.
And Norm yeah, exactly. Norm just went berserk.
What's the movie going to be called? Really?
I know what it's going to be called.
Yeah, what's that?
If it's got Carrot Top in it, you know what a good name for it would be?
What's that, Norm?
Box Office Poison.
There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
How quick is he?
Well, that's what, another thing that Conan said about him was he was so unpredictable. There was an electricity just having him sit there. You just felt it because you didn't know what he was going to do.
He was one of the best. He really was. There's no question. And the world really lost a comedy legend yesterday.
I've always believed that God is in the details, that it's a drag and you sit there and you have to try and get it right. But I think Twain says the difference between the right word and almost the right word is the difference between, lightning and a lightning bug. It's just like that when you get the right wording, when you get it just right, it makes a difference. And I think the work that you and Norm did on Update is proof that you guys worked really hard. You got fired for it because unfortunately one of the people at the top at NBC was a good friend of OJ's.
Was his closest friend.
Was his closest friend. And you got fired for that. And but you've always thought that was a kind of a proud moment for you because a lot of people reached out when that happened and identified that was the wrong move.
I had so many, I mean, it was really, I have to say, I'm not the most sensible person in my personal life. You probably know me well enough, Conan, to have picked that up. But I'll
testify to that.
I didn't. I'd gotten divorced that year, basically. So I was sort of, maybe I was feeling kind of, it's kind of ornery but certainly, and also like with a little less responsibility. Norm, I know, took it much harder than I did. I sort of looked at it philosophically and said, you know what? It's like, the A.E. Housman poem To an Athlete Dying Young. before fame outran the man, kind of thing. And if that's, maybe I have that backwards too, but anyway, we were yanked off, and maybe that's better than risking that where you peak and then it's downhill.
You stick around too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't we weren't put in that position of having to, to make that decision. It was made for us. But I know that Norm, the story about that, I know you know this story, but I think people who are fans of Norm deserve to know this about him. The network went to Norm and said, we want to get rid of Jim Downey. And we just want you to know you're cool with that, right? He said, no, if you can't fire him. If you fire him, I quit. And they go, that's crazy. I mean, he's not helping you, the segment's too mean or whatever. And he said, well, no, I'm not doing it without him. And he never told me that. And I didn't hear that for years. I heard it from some network executives. And and part of everything else, if that had been me, that would have been, you bet Norm would have heard,
You would have talked about it. Yeah,
of course. I mean, come on.
Norm didn't, he was very stoic, old world. He came from a different century.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when he died, you called me and you said, you were mad at me initially. You said, I can't believe you didn't tell me, Conan. And I said, I didn't know. None of us knew. Laurie Joe knew.
And Mark Gervitz, his manager, knew.
Well, Gervitz knows everything.
His mother and his son knew.
Yeah.
And his brother. So outside of family, it was like 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't, and I know why he didn't. I've been told, and it made perfect sense, so I believe it, that he just didn't want it to ever be about anything but being funny.
Yep.
He didn't want to be brave or fighting the good fight, or, he didn't want to do heartwarming stuff. And he just wanted to be, but I was a little hurt that he didn't tell me. But I talked to him, I guess, I know you may have talked to him more recently than I'd had, but I talked to him certainly the summer of 2021,
we were
August.
We were trying to get him on my last late night show, which was 2 years. Yeah, it not long before he passed, and we were trying really hard to get him to be, because I wanted nothing more than him to be one of the last guests, and he was considering it, but then wouldn't do it, and then and I think he didn't. He knew that he didn't.
He also didn't. He knew that his appearance was kind of changing, and he didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I know this is shifting from one kind of bravery to another, but one of my proudest moments was a joke we did, and I think it was a Frank joke, Frank Sebastiano, but it was. There's a certain type of annoying, exactly what we're talking about, the kiss ass stuff. But it was a joke where we took the world's most innocuous kind of C-section news story, and we would clip a real news story and show it on the monitor so that the audience knew this is a real thing. We didn't make it up, and we did that for most of our things, and so the story was like, Denver City Council approves traffic light for, Martin Avenue. And so it goes to Norman. It's like, this week, the Denver City Council finally, on its 3rd attempt, voted funds for a new traffic light on Martin Avenue. Then he turns dramatically to another camera and goes, maybe they would have voted the funding earlier if instead of a traffic light, it was for rich white men. and then we bring up a lower third. Applaud now. But that's the kind of stuff that there's not really a great place to laugh in that joke.
Right.
That's a thing that, like Norm, we would do our run through, like we would work on the jokes a bit during the week, but mainly Friday night. And that's when especially I would do a lot of rewriting and refining, and then I'd run through stuff with Norm. And then Saturday, we do a run through, and then we're always screaming. We were always kind of late, getting in the studio really late because they were, come on, guys, we're losing time. So we'd come down, do our run through, and we'd make a few kind of changes, maybe think of some things for Norm to add. And then we'd have a dress. And then my attitude with Lorne Michaels, the producer, the big guy, was always like, tell us how long you want the segment to be. We're like, because we're the most easily bologna sliced segment, you know? And my attitude, and Norm kind of agreed, it's like, Norm wanted he didn't want to feel that like, we had to have we were entitled to a certain amount of the show. But I always argued like anything, if we're cutting lean, we're in good shape, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, we'll always cut the fat. Everyone should do that. But if we also have to give up something we don't want to give up, it's probably a good indication.
It's...
And anyway, if it's something, a lot of our stuff can be done next week, you know? And so, you know, we would do 6-minute updates. I think we did a 5-minute. They do like 12-minute updates now, you know, and they did them before us. And Norm, I will say this, Norm was not crazy about features.
Yeah.
He wasn't crazy about having other people on the segment, you know, always. And sometimes I had to like get him to be more involved with the guests.
Yeah.
But Seth Meyers was the best ever at interacting with, I mean, he was great at that. I wish Norm had been a little more playful like that.
I always took away from you, and I think about, you're in my head a lot over the years that I've been writing and all the years that I've been doing things. And you're surprisingly easy to masturbate to. No, you're but you're also in my head for another reason. No, you're in my head because there's an ethic that I got from you, and I also got from Robert Smigel, and I try to pick from the best, which is, if I can lose it, yes, trim the fat, but also sometimes cut into the muscle. Like, and lose, if you're losing something for time that you really love, but you love that other stuff more, you're in great territory, and this thing is really going to fly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great...
I remembered, by the way, the reason I brought all that stuff up. It's because...
I was just killing time to remember.
Norm was the guy who, you know, and performers, because you're a hybrid, you know, performers really don't want to give up stuff that got a huge laugh ever. Norm would totally throw out something if he came to suspect it was not the kind of laugh we wanted. And by the way, that doesn't mean like it was dirty or something. If it was like cheap or easy or whatever. And the thing is, you could give Norm a choice of like, okay, this is absolutely guaranteed to kill. It'll get a mini standing ovation, but it's hacky, and we both know it. This is guaranteed to die. I promise you we'll get, you know, death camp silence. But it's fucking brilliant. Norm would unhesitatingly go for the silence. You know, but I would go, yeah, I would too, but I'm not the guy out there.
Yeah.
He is. And I always fucking love that about him. He would never reject something because it's funny, but they're going to laugh, you know. And I had fights with people that you and I both respect who just, oh man, it killed. You go, yeah, but come on, man.
Lemonheads, this rules.
Okay. So next thing, this is for my buddy Aaron Fromm. He works on Smiling Friends. He's a very good friend of mine. He's an amazing animator. He showed me this years ago and was waiting to release it. He sent it to me just to put on Instagram and upload to X, and he got a lot of other people to share it as well. But this is a beautiful thing he did about Norm. The animations are really, really good. He worked on this for years to get it right and has a giant team of people. It'll almost make you cry. I am warning you. I know we just did
In
something
2016, I made a recording of Norm MacDonald. I didn't really understand it at the time, but when I heard he died just a few years later, I went back and listened to it again.
So when Aaron showed me this, maybe, I don't know, 3 years ago, he showed me it in his garage, and he was like sketching it. He didn't know if he'd put it out and everything because he had this recording, and I thought about it every day since I saw it. Norm was such a genius. I saw, I think, a Fuller thing that he had on it, but God, Norm is just, I think, the best to ever do it, personally, but yeah, here we go.
Died just a few years later. I went back and listened to it again. I'm rolling.
Does anybody have a cigarette? I'm not going to light it. I just want to hold it to calm me down. Thank you. If a guy's really convinced of an afterlife, then life becomes more and more trivial, you know. You don't spend your days denying the catastrophe to come. When I was just starting out in comedy, I met a guy named Sam Kinison. He never made the mistake that a lot of entertainers do, which is to try to figure out what the audience wants to hear.
You suck! Come on! You want to party? Fuck it, let's go!
Please don't. Those guys are always the best. The ones untethered to this world. They're a little bit closer to heaven than all the rest of us. And Sam took me under his wing, kind of.
And now your host, the Weasel! Hey, buddies. Let's get this party started.
Kinison told me there's two ways to write a joke. One, you do it like Jerry Seinfeld.
What's the deal with life cereal? Why don't we call it Odies or Squaries?
You take a little thing like cornflakes and you make it big and treat it with the utmost importance.
Oh no, this is much bigger than that. This is life, I tell you.
But the other way to do it, the better way, is you take a very, very important thing and do the opposite. Either way, it juxtaposes the absurd with the profound, and that dissonance is art.
Norm MacDonald!
When he told me that, it changed my whole comedy. You know, with Hitler, the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him. Kinison had been a preacher, you know.
The Spirit of God! I've screamed at God at the top of my lungs!
That's where he got that wild shriek. When he died, he'd finally quit drugs. He got hit head on. By a fucking guy that was all stoned. It was very ironic. He got out of the car, he walked around.
Sam, are you all right?
And he said to his friend, Carl LeBeau, he goes, I'm fine, I'm fine. Internally, he was bleeding, but he looked fine. And then he says, why now, why now? You know, and now he's talking to God. And then he smiles and he goes, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And then he lies down and dies. So maybe you don't think there's Jesus Christ, but you got to know there's God. And people like Kinison, even when they die, they live forever.
Yeah.
For Sam. Amen.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna live forever.
The big hand please for Mr. Norm MacDonald.
You fathers and you mothers.
If it's got Carrot Top in it, you know what a good name for it would be?
What's that, Norm?
Box Office Poison.
Just lead them safely to the light.
I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, you're not allowed to put that no
I thought it was a matter of record.
And
that's the way it is, folks. Good night and good luck.
That's why I have the big gray studio. I don't have a big enough room to do it, but this is the weekend update set I wanted with the TV and the wall and everything. Two of the best to ever do it. Billy Joe and Norm. Billy Joe wrote this song after his son died of a heroin overdose. His son played in the band with him. guitarist.
Good luck. Yeah, baby.
If your words live, which yours will,
yeah.
Well, mine will and his will, just like the living word of the Bible, you're going to live forever.
It's all about
Amen.
the word. Amen.
God bless everybody.
God bless you, man. Love you, man.
Yeah, love you too, brother. Shit. I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. I'm just an old chunk of coal now, Lord, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday.
I knew Trenton. I knew him. Trenton was a comic out here. I knew.
Diamond someday.
Yeah, that's really good. Just to get the word out about this, though, because Aaron worked really hard on it, I'd ask the everybody that runs clip channels to clip it and share it. All right, let's watch some fats.
Well, I've never asked you this before, and we've been good friends for many years. Ah. Okay, I made that up, but...
No. We haven't?
No, we're friends. We're good friends, but I don't know what your... McDonald, is that Irish? Is that Scottish? What's your ethnic background?
My ethnic background is Polish.
Are you really Polish? Wow.
Polish people,
I didn't
yeah.
realize that.
Yeah.
McDonald, you don't...
Well, my parents changed their names. They had to because of the constant ribbing they'd get for being Polish, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so they changed their name to McDonald. But, you know, it's one of the things that you can, you know, I mean, I get a little upset about it, you know. Because, you know,
all
you
the
can't...
Polish jokes and stuff.
you can't make jokes about other people, but for some reason you make jokes about Polish people, you know?
Right.
I don't like it.
Right. You shouldn't. That sounds bad, yeah.
I mean, I had an experience, you know. I go in and I order a Polish sausage, you know, from this guy, you know. And so the guy says to me, you must be Polish. And I said, come on, man. I mean, come on. Think about it, what you're saying. You know, I'm trying to knock some sense into this fellow's head, maybe give him a wider world view, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I said, you think because I order a Polish sausage, I'm Polish. I said, what if somebody came in here and ordered French toast? Would you think he was French, you know?
Right.
I mean, what if somebody came in here and ordered a Belgian waffle? Would you consider that guy a Belgian, you know? I mean, if a guy came in and ordered a German bratwurst, would you consider that fellow to be a German fella?
Right.
I said, what if a guy came in and ordered German potato salad? I suppose you'd think he was German too. Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, what if a guy...
Wow, you talked to this guy for a while.
I'm telling you, man. With racists, you have to get through
You have to
them.
really get it into their head. Right.
I said, if a guy came in and he ordered a Cuban hamburger, are you going to assume he's a Cuban?
Right.
I said, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that just because I come in here, I order a Polish sausage, why would you jump to the fact that I'm Polish?
Right.
And the guy says to me, well, first of all, it's a hardware store.
And you hate Polish jokes, don't you? You just hate them.
No, I think they're disgusting.
Let me ask you quickly. We haven't talked to you in so long. I want to ask you about your family.
My great family. I love them all.
How's your... we used to talk in the old days. You and I used to spin some yarns about Uncle Hector. How's Uncle Hector?
Oh, Uncle Hector. Uncle Hector...
He's Polish too, I'm guessing.
No, he wasn't Polish.
Oh, okay.
No, he was from my cousin's side of the family. And he was... he was a great man, my uncle, you know.
Right.
He was an old fella. He actually rode the rails during the Depression.
Oh.
You know, he was a hobo.
Hobo.
As you might call him. I don't like that term, but whatever.
Tramp or whatever,
Yeah,
what
he's a
have you.
tramp, Railroad bum. But he wasn't a bum. He was just out. He was a good, honest man during the Depression searching for work, you know. And, you know, he had no money, so he'd travel the country trying to find work, and he actually rode the rails, Uncle Hector. And he told me, it was an interesting story, he'd go through this was in Canada, and there's a town called Kitchener in Canada, and the railroad cops were tough, boy. They were tougher than the real cops, you know. They had a law of their own, the railroad cops.
I feel like I should be tucked into bed listening to you. Anyway, a law of their own, those railroad cops.
But there was not a railroad cop tougher than Kitchener Leslie. Oh, boy. He was well known. He was well known for beating hobos to death.
Really?
Oh,
He'd find a hobo on his train, he'd beat him to death.
He'd beat him to death. And so what the railroad bums would all do is, as Kitchener approached, of course, oh, hey, Alan. Hey, Norm, how you doing? So,
They'll be here in 5. We ready?
There's a...
Oh. Left.
I don't have it. I don't have it. We should have used...
Wow, such focus on these stories.
That wasn't a mirror. That was another guy.
Okay, oh, it was a guy named Norm.
Yeah. So the railroad bums would all hop off before they got to Kitchener to avoid being beaten to death by Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
Anyways, my Uncle Hector, a good man, you know, and he walked into a mine one day. This is a story for that I think the young people could learn from.
Don't go mine hopping, kids.
During the height of the Depression, where there was absolutely no work, my Uncle Hector walked into I won't say the name of the mining company. It was McIntyre Mine, and he walked in. He had his lunchbox with him and his work boots, and he said, "Sir," he said, "I want a job." And they said, "We have no jobs." He said, "Well, 500 people work here at McIntyre Mine." He goes, "I don't think there are 500 men here better than I." He says, "As a matter of fact, I don't think there are 200 men better than I." He says, I think you'd be strapped to find 100 men better than I. And by golly, he got the job. What do you think of that?
That's a great story.
Now,
I'm sensing there's more. Now back to Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
The most dreaded...
No. Uncle Hector. Uncle Hector.
What?
No, you want to talk about
sorry, I'm
Uncle
trying to help you out.
No, Uncle Hector.
Dad, where's this story going?
Uncle Hector worked in a mine, and it's a hellish job, the mine, as you well know. You know, darkness, you know.
It's dank. It's
dank.
Yeah.
It's coaly. It's a lot of...
What?
Well, you're in a coal mine.
It's not coaly. It's coal-ridden.
It's
coal-infested. It's not coaly.
It's coal-infested. So he worked in the mine, and by God, he worked hard. And after a week of working hard, he said to the shift manager, he said, He said, "By golly, I'd like to have a lady. I work hard, and where would I find a lady here in town?" Well, they said to Uncle Hector, they says, we have sex with animals here. By God, says Uncle Hector, I'm not going to do that. Why, I'm a normal fella. Well, then be to your own devices then. So,
be to your own devices?
Yeah.
Wow.
Uncle Hector continued working in the mine. He worked hard, and he worked long, and he worked for a low wage. But he was a man. And Uncle Hector, after a couple of weeks passed, he started to get a little itch, you know, as you and I say.
Right.
You know,
Right. When we're thinking about the
ladies,
the ladies,
yeah.
And,
but he kept it under control. He went again, and he said, "Are you sure there's no ladies here?" "No, we have sex with animals." Ah, my God. 6 months passed, and Uncle Hector couldn't take it any longer, he told me.
Right.
He said, "By God, I just had to, I'm just a man, I'm weak, you know. I'm not a saint, you know, and I was born in sin, I suppose, and I couldn't resist. I just needed it." So he said he walked by a pasture, and there was a pig.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so Uncle Hector said, well, he said, I walked up, and I began having sex with a pig. And he said, all of a sudden, he saw all the miners, like, around him, you know, looking at him. They go, "Uncle Hector, what the hell are you doing over there?" And Uncle Hector's like indignant. He's like, "What? Well, you're the guys that told me that you have sex with animals." They're like, "Uncle Hector, you damn fool. That's Kitchener Leslie's girlfriend." Of all the animals
to have sex with.
You don't want to.
And now with Kitchener Leslie's pig. No, that's terrible.
Not Kitchener Leslie's pig. Kitchener Leslie's lady.
Oh, yeah. You tell quite a yarn, man.
Well, I had shorter ones, but... Well, thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here, you know, and I was asked to host the ESPYs this year. Yeah, hi, that's my name, Espen. When I was asked to host the ESPYs this year, folks, I said yes immediately for one reason and one reason only. This show has interns. I'll be having little improper relations backstage a little later. But man, it's great to be here at the 6th annual ESPY Awards. Hard to believe, huh, that the ESPYs are 6 years old. Although Anthony Mason swears they're 18. Yeah, he'll be having sex with the ESPYs in about 12 years. So I was a little late here tonight. I took the cab to the theater, folks. And I don't know if you've ever been in these New York City cabs, but I got one of those cabbies, couldn't speak English, you know. Saw his name there on the dash. I couldn't even pronounce it. I think it was something like Hideki Arabu. I'm like that. Arabu's been having some trouble, man. They fired his translator. Steinbrenner fired his translator. And people see that as cruel, you know, but I don't know, you know. I mean, if you're not doing well in Yankee Stadium, you know, do you really need a translator? Do you want that, you know? You know? Hey, what'd they say? They say you suck. You should go back to Japan, you dirty foreigner. Okay, I got it. I'm trying to pitch over here. It's great to be here on ESPN. I love sports, man. You can see sports on ESPN you don't see on other networks. You know, like kickboxing. That's my favorite sport. Kickboxing is great. When you think about it, it combines the style and grace of boxing with kicking. This seems kind of immature. Just backstage, a lot of celebrities back there, man. I was talking to Jerry Jones, you know, the Cowboys owner, and he's disappointed, obviously. Yeah. Well, he's a good guy, though, man. He's talking about rebuilding the team, you know. And he told me, he says, we have to get back to what made us a championship team. Strippers and crack. Hey, have you heard about this? Ted Turner and NBC plan to start their own rival football league to compete with the NFL. And not much known about the specifics of this new league, except for this, it will suck. They know that. So they might have trouble, you know, getting advertisers when we know it will suck. And of course, congratulations to the Denver Broncos for winning the Super Bowl. How about that? Denver did great, you know. There he is. I love the Denver fans, you know, because for one thing, they don't wear food on their heads. That's nice. And they had a wild celebration in Denver after that Super Bowl, man. And now city officials expect an even wilder celebration if the Nuggets win 10 games this year. They say they're gonna say the whole city's gonna go nuts. Yeah, the Nuggets are having a bad year this year, man. Matter of fact, they're making a film about the team. They got a pretty catchy title. It's Black Men Can't Jump Either. Well, NBA All-Star Weekend over. That was exciting, man. The East beat the West. Jeff Hornacek won the three-point shootout. Houston's Clyde Drexler and Cynthia Cooper won that exciting two-ball thing. And Charles Barkley won the throw a guy through a plate glass window contest. So that was quite a game, you know. I mean, you know who impressed me the most yesterday was Kobe Bryant. Unbelievable. Man, wow.
guy's amazing. 19 years old, the youngest starter ever in the All-Star game, and he plays so well that today he was named spokesman for NBC's new public service campaign called Screw It, Who Needs College? Of course, the biggest story in basketball, no question about it, Michael Jordan may retire. Yeah, Michael Jordan may retire after this season, and it's terrible news for Bull fans, you know, but it is terrific news for golf hustlers. They're happy about it. But Jordan is very serious, though, about leaving. In fact, he's already called the Hall of Fame to make sure that his plaque bears his basketball nickname, Air Jordan, and not his baseball nickname, Senior Crappy. That would just be disrespectful, you know? Well, how about them Winter Olympics? They're finally underway, so we've got a lot of great stuff to look forward to the next 2 weeks, like hockey and, well, just hockey, really. I was watching last night, I saw speed skating, and my goodness, you know, could the outfits they wear be any tighter? Holy Lord. There was an East German woman, I swear, you could see the outline of her entire penis. It was... Well, there's all kinds of sports celebrities in the audience tonight. I see Tiger Woods right there. Tiger Woods, how about that, huh? Yeah, he's up for golf. Of course, he's up for Golfer of the Year this ESPYs. And you know who I feel sorry for, folks, is the other two guys nominated for Golfer of the Year. You see these guys getting ready, you know, it's like, hey, honey, have you seen my tuxedo? No, not the good one. The one I wear when I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Have you seen that one? Yeah, Boomer Esiason is with us. Boomer. How you doing, buddy? Boomer, of course, will replace Frank Gifford on Monday Night Football next season. And Frank told reporters that this will allow him to spend more time with his wife and children. Then he broke down and cried for 45 minutes. So. And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off. Just a word of advice. Folks, before we can begin handing out our awards tonight, we must look...
Yo, what up? All right, so we got another one from NORM MACDONALD.
Okay. Yeah, man, fun dude.
Very funny, very funny.
Last one we checked out was alcoholism?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, man, that was a good one too, man.
Yeah.
What we got?
This one is called 12-Minute Joke.
A 12-minute joke?
Yes, 12-minute joke. Must be a hell of a punchline, man.
Yeah, man, to set it up for 11 minutes. Yeah, man, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. That was goofy, man. Yeah, man, I get it. 12-minute joke, man.
That was all one joke?
Oh, man. It kind of tied in, you know what I mean?
That was a lot of shit. That was a lot of shit.
The cheese sandwich in the van. I don't think it tied back to Janice, you know what I mean? But the death, you know what I mean? The disappearance of Janice. So it all tied together, man. Like,
hey, how you gonna lure somebody in with a cheese sandwich? How you going? Like she's some animal.
Yeah.
He said he was gonna be coy.
How do you gonna tell me? How do I? So who's gonna know better about what's in my right hand?
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
He is ridiculous. He was ridiculous.
Then all of Janice's friends. Another friend of Janice would have came up.
He's right though, man. Like when you're talking about the news, like they'll, you know what I'm saying, they'll try to get you attached.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying, to the story. Whatever story they're promoting, you know what I'm saying, they'll try to get you attached to, so you'll be watching them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? 24 hours. You don't need 24-hour news.
Yeah, very selective what they put on the news.
If something happens, you know what I'm saying, put it
There's
on the news at 9.
One day to fill up 24 hours. Definitely.
Yeah, around the world I would think that, but a lot of news we don't need to know about. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of news I really don't need to know. Just tell me what's going on around me. To make sure. Okay. Let me know if a hurricane coming.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Let me know if it's flooding.
Get that newsletter out front for you.
Let me know if it's a murderer on the loose or a prisoner that's escaped.
Sexual predator.
Let me know if it's a sexual predator. I think Dave Chappelle said it was like a serial man rapist in Houston. I would like to know that shit. Put that shit on the news. Make everybody aware of that shit. But yeah, most news I don't need to know about. But some news is important.
Y'all say it's fake news nowadays.
They do say it's fake news. A lot of it is a lot of bullshit.
A lot of filler.
Yeah. Man, Norm MacDonald, Jesus.
Goofy, man. Swear. Swear.
He's just saying.
Look, let me do this, okay?
They don't even want to talk about the fact that maybe the guy murdered someone.
Yeah. Let's talk football.
All right, manslaughter.
Let's talk football.
He's doubling down. So were you open for him?
No, well, I'm trying to think. I hung out with him a couple times. The Irvine one was the time I got really high with him. Ryan Sickler and I were in the parking lot before.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, and Ryan's always got good weed.
Yeah.
And he had some crazy sticky shit, and he was like, he's like, you want to smoke? I thought Norm was going to be like, I'm about to go on stage, which he was. And he was like, yeah. I was like, you're going to smoke right I was like, you're going to smoke right now? Because that was like so scary to me to get that high right before. He packed this bowl. Norm hit it, took a monster hit.
I watched him take a monster hit off of
coughed
Rogan one time.
So hard, tear came down his face. Like when you're coughing that hard. And I was like, this is going to be bad. I took a hit because I was watching him. We weren't performing that night. And the show's already started. And I had that, that anxiety.
Yeah.
Of a 5-year comic, and he's a 30-year guy at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't you got to get in there? He's like, huh. I'm like, how you gotta get in there? It's all I could think about. I was like, you got to get in there, man. Yeah. And he smoking, talking, told me, I asked questions. I asked about dirty work, and working. I go, that scene with Rickles and Artie, and then I thought I told you this. We walk from the parking lot into, this is the old Irvine Improv.
Yeah.
We walk in the front, and then there's the showroom doors, and then there's the pathway down. Dude, it's like a movie. We walk in the front doors, and then those showroom doors open, and as the showroom doors open, they're like, Norm MacDonald. He's got on this leather blazer on, and he's holding a Coke, twist-off Coke.
Yeah.
And he just walks up there, and place goes nuts. It was packed. And he's like, yeah, some people drink Sprite. It's fucking gross. And he just fucking, it's like talking like that, like just off the top of his head about how gross Sprite is.
God.
And murdering. And then Ryan and I are in the back. We're like, holy shit. And we're like, we're so high. He's got to be so high right now. So high. And he's up there just killing, man.
But what's interesting was at my Comedy Central roast that John Stamos was the roast master, and all of the comedians, and that's where beloved Norm Macdonald did his very memorable non-roasty tribute of doing.
No, he was reading joke from a joke book.
He said, "Saget, I'm going to do jokes from the '40s." And I went, "I don't know." I said, "Say fuck once." I don't want to do that. I don't want to make fun of you. You're my friend. And I went, I had a hard time. I've had a hard time dealing with this one.
I know. And can I just say, not to bring this down, but I was sitting here in the podcast on the day with Jesselnick and when we found out, and it just broke my heart. And I think it was like 2 days later. I don't know if it was Instagram or whatever you did.
That was my
eulogy.
Podcast. Yeah.
And it was the most touching, wonderful, emotional, beautiful. I mean, as much as it was beautiful for Norm, it kind of, you're a really good guy and a good friend to have in life. And the fact that you respect, but you
texted me that, and I was crying.
I was crying listening to you.
I was that bad?
No.
It was right as set the stage. It's right as his Netflix show is about to air, and he gets in big trouble because he's on Stern.
No. Hold on. Start it over. He defends Louis first.
Okay, yeah.
Louis and Roseanne. And Roseanne. Then he goes on Stern.
And when he's on Stern, instead of saying like you'd have to be retarded to laugh at this or to think this, he'd be like, you'd have to have Down syndrome. So he keeps saying
he thinks that's better because he thinks Down syndrome is okay to say, but retarded is bad because it's the R word.
Right.
So he's like,
so
he says it a bunch, and they're about to launch the show. So of course, everybody involved is like panicking. Like, you need to make it clear you have a new show launching. You got it. So he goes on The View and he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah.
Louis. I don't defend Louis.
He is. I'm not. You can mute this and watch this. He is eating mints, like, and popping them in his mouth.
He's literally eating mints
and shaking them in his hand. He's like, I feel real bad about that. And he's like,
why would I talk about Louis? I've never even had consensual sex with a girl. And they're like, Norm, you've never had consensual sex with a girl? He goes, why would I? And they're like, no, I think you're misspeaking, Norm.
And then you see him like you're on daytime. And he's like, yeah. So. I feel real bad about that.
Norm makes me laugh hard.
Dude, hold on, I'll tell you a thing about Norm.
Hard.
So he did this thing one time. He gets up to go from one room into another room, right? He stops at the doorway and he's like, what is this? What is this? He's like banging on the door, like just the doorway. He's like, what is like a portal to like another... What is this? And he's literally asking the people in the room, right? What do you call this thing? It's like a portal to what? How did you just go through? Where am I? And he was just talking about a doorway, but it was so.
He makes anything funny.
Yeah,
I remember it was me, him. He came to. I think he was doing a show with Spade in Irvine, and I went to go watch, and he came we went like by the dumpster afterwards, and it was me, him.
Oh, I know what you're talking about outside. There's that little outside area where you park.
Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I am Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Together we are the Office Blokes.
Yes, we are.
Correct. It's a true factual statement, all in a room. That's it.
Together.
Just in a room.
Office? In an office?
It's not
Studio,
isn't it?
Studio.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Norm MacDonald Swedish German joke. Someone sent this because I think we said we were
struggling to get good pictures, weren't we?
Yeah.
Good video.
Yeah.
I think the quality may be a bit sketchy. I just looked and it's like 360p, which is like...
Well, that was the problem. We had loads of Norm MacDonald and I asked for good quality video.
So we've got one.
I had loads of them lined up, but they're all shit videos.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this is 4K.
It's 360p.
Who sent it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Find out.
But yeah, we'll get straight into it. Norm MacDonald's Swedish German joke.
He's good, man. He's good.
That's a can-do, Norm.
Which one's Norm?
The blurry one in the middle.
Yeah, the quality's shit.
It's from Conan as well, so there should be a good quality version of this out there because all Conan is on YouTube pretty much, isn't it?
You came charging out like
Yeah,
that.
because people, look at this audience, man. They don't care about that. Why? They like jokes.
The Swedes are with you.
They got flags. They got flags.
Yeah, they got flags and they're scoring you. You've got 3 9s and an 8 so far.
Wow.
For your
Where are you guys
entrance.
from, man? Oh, sweet. That's Sweden?
Yeah.
God bless you, man. Everything's good about, you know, you're an Irishman. My mother, she was orange. My father, he was green. It was the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. I'm Scottish. I'm a Scot. You're Irish.
Yes.
What are you?
Swedish German.
Swedish German. Are you really?
Yeah, really. Why would I lie about that? It's not funny.
It's very odd 'cause
It's a very strange lie. I put one over on those people. Yeah.
Sweet.
You mean some of his German family went to Sweden in the 1940s? Bred with some of the Swedish people.
I always remember someone saying to me once something like they were half Swedish, half German, but also then put half Scottish at the end of it. So I went, right.
Yeah,
sounds like thirst to me. That was.
Swedish German.
No, I'll tell you why it's funny, man, because I was in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I met a good old boy down there, and he said, he said, you know Andy Richter?
Yeah. Yeah. He did?
Yeah.
You met a guy in Georgia and he said, you know Andy Richter?
Oh, yeah, you guys do well there.
Oh.
And he said, I said, yeah. He said, have you ever heard of Andy Richter joke? I said, no. He said, well, most of it's based on him being Swedish German. And then he told me an Andy Richter joke. And
Really?
But I didn't know he was Swedish German. I thought it was all nonsense.
Yeah, well, now this lines up perfectly. Let me ask you something, because it sort of relates to the first...
Wait, don't you want to hear the joke?
Oh, you're down to 6. You're down to 6. All right, this joke will get you back up.
You can get him back.
Let's hear the joke.
Well, the fellow says, he says, man, he says, you ever hear the time about the old prospector? That's how he talks, you know?
Yeah.
He says, man, there was an old prospector, and he was prospecting for gold, and he was having a hell of a time getting any gold. You know? It was an empty stake, I believe. And he said he'd come into town one day. He'd been in the mine for a good 8 months. He said, by God, he said, I'm only flesh and blood. Sure. You know? And I need a woman, you know. And so he goes into town. He goes up to the bartender. He says, bartender, he says, man, I've been in that mine for a hell of a long time, and I'm only flesh and blood. I need a woman. Well, the bartender says, hell, there ain't no women in this town. If you want to do any of that business, all we got is Andy Richter, the Swedish German. The prospector, he says, no, he says, hell, I ain't into that funny stuff, you know. He says, I'll be fine. So he goes back to his state, you know, and he's back in that mine, man, and 6 months passes, and a year passes, and Conan, you know, people are weak. Man is made of flesh and pride, as the scriptures tell us, and by God, that old prospector finally broke to his knees and he said, I'm no worse than he went back to the bar. He was a beaten man. He says to the bartender, he says, hell, man, I've been in that place 2.5 years. A man has needs, and if you say there's no women in this here town, he says, well, I'll have to go for Andy Richter, the Swedish German. But he says, listen now, he says, man, I'm a tough old hombre, you know, and I got friends now. He says, I don't want anybody to know about this. You know, this is back in the old days.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
He says,
I can tell by the accent, yeah.
He says, I got my cowpoke friends and so forth. I'd hate to hell anybody know about this. You know, this got to be all secret. Nobody. I say nobody can know about this. Bartender says, well, 4 people will know about it. How do you figure that? He says, well, he says, I'll know about it. He says, you'll know about it. Andy Richter, the Swedish German, will know about it. And the fella that has to hold down Andy will know about it.
Why?
Why?
Why? Because Andy Richter, the Swedish German, he don't go for that funny business neither.
Well, at least you left me my dignity.
Yeah.
I like the way that story ended.
Yeah,
that was a nice.
You weren't gay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but that's not beside the point.
You were raped.
No, it's more. It's more that I wasn't prostituting myself.
Wow. I've heard a similar joke.
Have you?
You not heard it? It's like a similar thing where but it's a donkey or a horse.
Yeah.
And then the woman comes in and she says, finally a woman turns up in town. And he says, well, I'm glad you turned up. Don't I have my needs and wants? And he says, yeah, I'm here to help. You just grab the other side of the donkey while
Nice. Yeah, I like. He's such a unique mind, Norm Macdonald, wasn't he? And I've heard people say that he just simmered in what other comedians would call bombing. You know, he absolutely loved the uncomfortable feeling,
the awkwardness of it.
Jokes just going nowhere and people just scratching their heads.
I watched a comic last night, and talking about what you're saying there about Norm, the way he is, like he's very awkward and very just sort of like he goes off the track, he goes off on one, but it's funny the way he goes off on it.
Yeah,
he comes back round to meet it, sort of thing. It's funny. There was a comedian last night, Fiona, is her name? It's John Richardson's wife.
Oh God, yeah, I know I've never seen a comedy. They've got a TV show together, haven't they?
She wasn't doing stand up. She was on a show.
Right.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen was her last night.
I think
really,
she was hysterical.
I saw that because I thought it was her sort of thing, but I'm sure I saw a bit of that John Richardson programme, but she wasn't that funny. And because I was wondering who it was at first, and Nick said, "Oh, that's the one with John Richardson."
How funny is she? She's proper
funny.
funny.
Was it on the
Would I Lie to You? Yeah.
That's what exactly.
How funny was it?
I thought she was absolutely hilarious.
Mate, I was crying. Laughter was streaming, tears were streaming down. It was that funny.
But when I looked at her, I couldn't believe. I thought it seems like
I was laughing that hard. Yeah,
she's proper northern, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's like Charlie or something.
She had a proper like vibe of Norm Macdonald for me. The way she just sort of like said the most awkward stuff, and went nowhere with a joke, but then reflected back on it, and it was dead. Then she kind of went back about 2 minutes after what she said something with a punchline of what she said 2 minutes before.
Yeah,
and I was like,
wow,
genius.
It just suited that program, didn't it?
It was dead funny.
It's a good program actually.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe I've prejudged her based off him a little bit because I don't find him
super funny.
I don't think I did.
She's super funny, mate.
Yeah,
she's very, very dry.
Because he's just very square and very boring, isn't he? And I assumed that they would both be like that.
I must have seen her before on something, but I couldn't remember her until I saw her with John Richardson, if you know what I mean. I don't know.
But I got proper Norm vibes when I was watching her.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull that off because if you don't know the sort of the comic and you've got no faith in him, if you go to a comedy night and you've never heard of him and they're just rambling on with no proper punchlines and stuff, I can see why a lot of people would be like, this person's shit.
But what they do it quick, where they do one of them jokes, but they do it real quick to get you.
Yeah.
And then they'll do a longer one, then a longer one, and then when they bring it back up, and then they'll probably reference the first joke in the last joke as well.
Sometimes they add little bits along the way, won't he, just to get people laughing again, just... I think he just ad-libs a little bit here and there as well, don't he? You know, when he sees Chicago, he'll think of something, he'll just throw something else.
Well, that was ad-libbed, wasn't it? He's put Andy Richter into the joke. It wasn't it wasn't a joke about Andy Richter, but he's used it that, so he's made it all about Andy.
Yeah.
And he's a funny guy. Norm's just
really,
great.
Really
he was probably one of the first comedians that I really, when we first went to the USA, where you hook onto one of them comedians and think, this is who I want to watch a lot of.
It's just sort of different again, isn't it? He's delivering everything. It's just the way he does it. It's
great.
Nice.
Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers guys.
Norm Macdonald is a great comedian pretending to be a bad comedian. If you want to understand what makes him a comic's comic in the most simple terms possible, he's just doing humor that is satirizing bad humor. And obviously other comics are gonna find that very funny.
Bob, you have a lot of well-wishers here tonight, and a lot of them would like to throw you down one. A well. They want to murder you in a well. Seems a little harsh, but...
I think there's a lot more layers to what's happening here, though. I actually think that being a stand-up comic and some of the experiences you go through actively warp your taste in humor. So using Norm as a template, I want to define his sense of humor, what makes it unique, and then also what makes artists' taste unique. What is that personality trait that makes them like these avant-garde comics? The first thing I want to do here is just dive into my favorite Norm joke of all time, which is his joke about World War II.
In the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world. So you figure that would take about 5 seconds for the world to win, but no, it was actually close.
This joke falls into a genre of humor which I don't think officially has ever been defined, but I'm gonna come up with a name for it. I'm gonna call it abstract familiarity. What that is to me is jokes where a comedian takes something you are super familiar with and then abstracts it until it feels new, weird, or almost alien. I think one of the coolest and most clear examples of this sort of humor is the Strange Planet comics. They're a series of webcomics that you probably have seen around on the internet or maybe even on bookshelves now. I know they've published them. I think they're the most succinct way of representing this style of humor because it's literally using aliens to show you how weird your everyday life is. I think a lot of what Norm MacDonald does is the same as what these comics do. He's taking World War II and he's abstracting it until it feels crazy. Norm is successfully opening your eyes to something you already knew. And he's doing that by talking about it kind of as if he's an idiot. He's delivering this joke with the cadence of a comic who is giving you huge revelations, but he's saying stuff you kind of already know. And that weird way in which his punchlines are actually super predictable is kind of what I'm talking about, where he pretends to be a bad comic.
Here's the deal. You don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world.
A good joke is supposed to have a surprising ending. And the way Norm takes a long pause and then says something that you already know and is not surprising at all is sort of a terrible way of structuring a joke. But if you are someone who is overly familiar with the structures of stand-up comedy, this terrible joke is actually surprising because you were expecting a good joke. Weirdly enough, one of the best ways you can surprise a smart audience member is by being underwhelming. Norm is essentially implying he's about to say something smart using his cadence and structure, and then saying something really dumb and obvious. But once again, it's not actually dumb and obvious. It's kind of also profound in a weird way.
There's a shoebox with a turtle in it.
From where? What is that doing there?
What?
In my video on Louis C.K., I talked a lot about how his special, Hilarious, is mostly driven by his experience as being a recently divorced father. That's like very central to almost everything he talks about in that special, and he uses it to jump to lots of different topics. I think that Norm, his central topic that he's most interested in is comedy itself. And that's why I think there's like a quality of absurdism to his humor. The topic he is talking about is also the art form he's currently performing. It's a weird circle of like reflexive art. In order to enjoy that, you as an audience member need to have two things, which is you need to have an innate sense of good and bad comedy, and you need to be very aware of the performative nature of comedy. And there are audience members who have that. Norm was my favorite comedian before I ever tried stand-up comedy. I think what makes it harder to prove and notice that this is what Norm is doing is that he doesn't directly talk about comedy. He embodies a character. That character is a commentary on comedy, which is why I think I didn't really love Norm until I saw him on late night talk shows.
Letterman understands. He's smarter than both of them. He understands play the dumb guy, you know?
Late night talk shows are such a good format for Norm and for any form of satire because they're rigid. They're just the late night talk shows are the ultimate form of phoniness. I hate to make fun of something that some other people probably like, but I hate the current era of late night talk shows. There's a better era of it in the past, but currently it's just so rehearsed and inauthentic. And I think if you're a comedian like Norm, who's kind of making fun of inauthenticity and normal structures of comedy, that's a great environment for you. On top of that, the host of the show is a great counterbalance to Norm that he can play off of. I think Norm's sense of humor is highlighted by having a little bit of shadow. The late night talk host plays the classic straight man role that almost every sitcom has, which is a main character who is much more serious than the humorous characters around them. I think one of Norm's best comedic partners ever was Conan O'Brien, because Conan clearly loved Norm's sense of humor and knew how to be the perfect opposite to it. There's two bits that Norm did on Conan that I will always cherish. The first of which is this mosquito story.
The driver we sent to pick you up told you a joke.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell it now on the show.
Yeah, that's how I get a lot of my material.
Okay.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist's office says, "What's the problem?" Honestly, Doc, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if Gregory Olinovich knows. He only knows that he has power over me. A cocked and loaded gun that lays on the bedside behind me. And then this hellish facade once.
How long a drive was this? Please, sorry.
He says, "Doc." The doctor says, "Moth, man, you're trouble. But you should be seeing a psychiatrist. Why on earth did you come here?" And then the moth said, "Because the light was on."
A classic, what we call a shaggy dog story, which is a story that the humor of it is that it doesn't really have a point. I think what Norm is really doing is he's satirizing the way late night shows have a certain sense of self-importance. Back in the day, everyone had to wear a suit and tie when they would come on the show. There's a whole band. It's like weirdly formal and fake. And so Norm is making fun of your expectations for that situation. And that doesn't mean he hates it. Like, I don't think that Norm satirizing this situation means that he hates late night shows. I kind of do, but I think he was a big fan of them. He was a huge fan of David Letterman. I think you can make fun of something you love and still love it, even if you have critiques of it. Point is that the idea of telling a shaggy dog story on something as hypothetically important as a late night talk show is a really clever way of making fun of the format. And that's the first thing he brings to late night. The other thing he does that's really clever is he makes fun of the fact that you're supposed to be promoting something when you come on a late night show, right? Like almost always, actually, I think literally always, when you come on a late night show, you do it to show off like a book you're selling or a movie you're in or something like that. That's why celebrities go on those shows.
But what's the movie going to be called? Really?
I know what it's going to be called.
Yeah, what's that?
If it's got Carrot Top in it, you know what a good name for it would be?
What's that, Norm?
Box Office Poison.
She's in it. All right, well, there's this 2-hour season finale of Melrose Place. There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
Conan is masterful here in how he sets Norm up and plays a foil to Norm. You can see that Conan actually enjoys it, even though he's fighting against it. I think Conan has always been my favorite late night host. He understood the phoniness of late night and a lot of times broke through it himself. If there was ever a show that was just like Conan and Norm playing off of each other, I would have endlessly watched that. I think they have such a great dynamic. So that's generally speaking why Norm is so perfect for late night. But I think there's another layer to all this, and I think it's important to dive into who are stand-up comedians in order to answer the question, why do comics like this stuff?
I just don't know how 6 million people disappear from the face of the earth.
Being an amateur stand-up comedian is brutal. New York City open mics are only comics watching other comics. The only people in the audience are other people who will be on the mic. And most New York comics do like 3 or 4 open mics a night where they do the same material over and over again. And they hate every second of it. And everyone doesn't want to be there. They're miserable. It's work. And that experience, which almost every comic on earth goes through, warps your sense of humor. When you have watched as much comedy as I have, You've seen everything, hundreds of hours of comedy, like more comedy than anyone should ever have to watch in their life. And so the only thing that can snap you out of it is shock humor a lot of the time. There are dark types of humor that will never make it to the mainstream, and they do really, really well at New York open mics. Using my own humor as an example, I have a story that I sometimes tell for real audiences at real shows about my grandfather's passing, and it's a fairly earnest story. When I do it at open mics, I add in a line about necrophilia that's not in the real joke I do for audiences, and that necrophilia line kills with other comics, and I have tried it once, and it freaks real people out. And I'm sure there's some people who are like listening right now who are like, no, I would like the necrophilia joke. Maybe you would. I'm sure there's some people who would like it. But when you're an up-and-coming comic, you have to perform to every type of audience. It's really hard to be a comics comic. You perform on showcase shows where there's 6 comics in a night, and audiences don't know who they're going to see that night. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that a comic who's super famous gets to perform to their fans. If you want to be a professional comedian, you have to be funny to people who are not your audience. You have to be able to go up on stage every night of the week and perform to whoever shows up at that club. And it's so hard. People have very different tastes in humor. There are Seinfeld fans out there, and there are Anthony Jeselnik fans out there. And those are 2 random examples, but picture them in your mind. Those people do not have the same sense of humor, and they might be at the same comedy show on the same night, and you kind of have to make both of them laugh. The job of being a stand-up comedian can absolutely be brutal. You can be on the road and have no time to even record a video. I'm recording here in my hotel room by myself without my family or my friends. You know, there are times where it sucks, and there are times where you spend hundreds of hours watching terrible comedy and your taste gets warped and you get bitter. But Norm comes in and reminds you, hey, didn't you start this whole thing at one point with an earnest love for humor? My favorite thing about Norm is I love how it feels like he's got an inside joke about everything and he's performing for himself. Norm MacDonald is almost like a pressure relief for me. I put pressure on myself to have good jokes. So when I see Norm go up there and have bad jokes, I'm like, oh, none of this matters. Why am I taking comedy so seriously? His humor is essentially saying, hey man, why are you trying to be perfect when being terrible can also actually be funny? I am definitely guilty of taking comedy too seriously. I think this YouTube channel is a perfect example of that. I think that's the really wonderful message I take away from Norm. No matter what you do in life, even if you are professionally funny, it's so easy to forget that you're supposed to be having fun. And I think we all lose track of that sometimes.
There's 2 kinds of guys. There's guys like Pryor who are like brilliant because they're so vulnerable and you know who they are. And then there's guys like Bob Hope are brilliant because they're like invisible. To me, Bob Hope in a way is a little bit on a higher level because he presents a sort of existential view of life where everything is reduced to the breeziest jokes. It doesn't even seem like he's a person. It seems like he's a cartoon. It's like if you about grapes of wrath, you're like, hey, there's no grapes.
Yeah.
Or you put in the grape section. That's smart.
Yeah.
Then everybody will find grapes of wrath.
Yeah.
People that like grapes.
Okay, listen, Norm.
But considering that these are celebrities and not professional poker players, I mean, we're seeing some really good level play.
Absolutely. These guys all know what they're doing, and they all make good decisions. And it's not going to just be a cakewalk for the pros to just win the heads-up match.
75.
Well, the blinds have gone up now to 500 and 1,000. Norm MacDonald is actually on the short stack.
Norm MacDonald 3-bets here. He's been kind of a policeman to the button raises all day. Yeah.
And right behind him, Brad Garrett has aces and 4-bets to 15,000.
Yeah, and this is going to put Norm in a really tough spot. On the one hand, he never thinks that Brad's bluffing here. But on the other hand, he's getting a great price, and he has a hand that can flop really well. So I don't know how he could fold.
I want you here, Norm.
Good luck, gentlemen.
And McDonald does flop well. Jack 4, 5, 2
20.
diamonds. He has a flush draw.
Yeah, and this is just a flop that Norm's never going to get away from, unfortunately, for one of them.
3 of spades on the turn. It doesn't really change much.
No, and I imagine that Brad's just going to shove all in here. Oh.
Deuce of diamonds on the river. That's an ugly card for Brad Garrett.
Yeah, that's basically the worst card in the deck for him. He can't win the hand, and he improves to a straight. And there's no way he's ever folding.
Oh. That was nasty.
And Brad Garrett has now lost with queens, kings, and aces. And he's just officially running terrible in this game.
Oh, that was huge. Good for you.
I bet the turn hurt you a little.
Not really. You weren't going anywhere.
I was going so.
Were you really?
If you make a big bet, maybe, I don't know.
But don't tell that to the birdcage guys.
Well, that's a sneaky little limp with aces from Kevin Pollak.
Definitely really sneaky, especially because he's just basically raised or folded every single time.
Just call him. You like that, Norm?
Until Johnny Schmendrick makes it 50 billion to go.
So a call from Hank Azaria and then a raise from Norm MacDonald with jacks.
Yeah, and when he makes it that size, he's never, ever, ever getting away from this hand when Kevin inevitably goes all in.
I'm all in.
Hank gets out of the way very quickly. And Norm MacDonald is left with a bit of a decision here.
Well, one. A call.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Aces.
Oh, Mamacita Jones.
Norm MacDonald calls
my
all
goodness.
in with jacks.
Wow. Good luck,
and he
guys.
sees the bad
Good
news.
luck, everyone.
Good hand,
And I'd like to point out that as we predicted, Kevin Pollak finally got it in with the nuts.
That's right. We are good at this.
Yeah, we're getting good.
Bad
Bricks. Bricks. I had 2 spades, so that's probably not going to terminate.
Good luck, Valley.
2 spades.
4, 9, 6, 2 spades, as he says on the flop. The aces are still ahead.
I love how emotionally invested Pollak looks in this. It's hard not to root for him, you know?
That's right. 1 card left to come. It has to be a jack, or Norm MacDonald is gone.
2 outer. Nice hand.
Boom.
Good hand, buddy.
8 of spades on the river.
Good
We
luck.
do say goodbye to Norm MacDonald.
Jacks. Any
Yeah,
jack?
that hand was absolutely
Ah,
unavoidable.
that is
Once they get dealt those cards, there's nothing that he can do.
Normie, where are you?
Norm, pleasure playing with you.
Norm MacDonald. Norm MacDonald, take a bow.
I mean, I assume he was waiting for somebody to come out with whatever he was buying from him.
Here comes
But I
Norm
don't know
MacDonald
if that's a
again
fact.
after Nick's open with the 7-4 clubs. And now he's flat behind. Norm makes it $1,650 with the ace-jack of diamonds. Ellie in position with the king-jack of hearts.
You mean the game's too slow, or your rack will be empty? What do you got left? Like 380?
The game's definitely not slow.
375?
Flop comes king, queen, deuce, all diamonds.
Hang in there, Keith. Just pace yourself.
The stone cold Nutter Butters for Norm MacDonald.
Nothing improved here, pal.
It's a pretty decent flop for Ellie.
We all know you.
Flopped a pair of kings.
60 hands. You got 60 hands. 5,000 hands, 60 hands. You're good. 240 or something today.
That would be funny.
I'm not even going to...
Donald's bet a 3K gets snap called by Lesnar.
Keith could definitely do it.
There's no...
And the turn is a jack. Now 2 pair for Ellie and a check from MacDonald. The all-in and the snap call. Well played by Norm.
Come on. Wow.
He'll just have to dodge a king or a jack here to win a pot of more than $30,000.
Once, twice? I'm adding on.
I'll go twice if you want, sure.
They will run it
You can win
twice.
it once. You can win it only once. 3 outs?
3 outs, needs to find a king or a jack.
I like twice in this.
King of hearts? No, king of
I
spades.
really like it. I feel good about
2
it.
black kings.
spades.
First river is a blank. Norm MacDonald dodges a king or a jack here. He will scoop a massive
He's still
pot.
in very good shape.
94%.
This river's a 7, and it all goes in the direction of Norm MacDonald.
Raise 15,000.
Once upon a time, Gary worked for Poker News. I'm sure that was a nice conduit. Longtime friend of Jason Mercier, who is obviously a great talent.
Don't you kind of know what this stack is? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Meanwhile, Maria Ho
Last 10.
wants to get a better sense of McDonald's stack with 10-9 suited
It's 70 in blue. So.
before electing to continue
I'm
against the
guessing
15K open out of the 2 kings.
I think it's a good guess.
Had the premium ever come out? You talked to him? Oh, cool.
Waters.
Wish I got a water. Only wine for the rest of the night. Good luck.
Jesus would be proud.
Last 10.
Gold really struggling with that 9 tray there.
Is it
Heads
really?
up.
Is it really?
Releases his big blind and trip 10s here for Maria.
That guy was so annoying though.
Yeah.
I couldn't. That's why I quit.
Bet
I couldn't stand him.
20,000.
Yeah.
I know.
Out flops the
gone.
2 kings in a major
Well,
way
they
as
lost
Norm
me.
barrels
Should have
20K.
quit him about 6 months sooner.
Who's the new guy? Or girl? Matt Money Flipping Roberts. Oh.
The girl was good. The
Yeah.
sub for the.
Are you really playing that right now? No, I apologize. That's a stupid game. You went
Best
for
chance
it.
to win money today, guys.
Maria
I won the words version a couple
gonna
times.
slow play,
I
and
don't
on
think I
this
would.
turn,
It's like Wheel of Fortune.
McDonald has
Yeah,
picked up a
so-
flush draw, barrels
25,000?
again.
It was mostly pride, yeah.
This time,
I
25,000.
500 other people.
Yeah, you split them in cash and get like 48 cents.
It's probably $1.12 in my HQ account right now.
You're stone dead to cash that out. Too.
Call.
What a great business model of them. We
Again,
give away
Maria
money, but no one
flats
cashes
with
that
no
out.
diamond in her hand. Perhaps a blend of playing it safe and also allowing Norm to potentially sail off here.
My withdrawal got turned over today.
135K in the middle.
My withdrawal got turned over
Almost a
today.
full buy-in.
Thanks. Bitcoin's down. Why would they want to let me have a withdrawal?
Bovada used to be like that once in a while, but I think there's just no bank which I
Donald
check is
Oh, no, this is
choosing to slow down.
Last 10.
I call.
Perhaps wary of what it is that Maria was up to, and she bets enough to put them all in. He makes the call with the 2 kings, and we have lost our first player of the day here on Showbound Week, and it is the comedic legend Norm MacDonald. Felted
Norm, it was nice
by
playing.
Maria
Good
Ho,
games, guys.
Nice to meet you.
Just seeing you.
who extends
If
her
you need
chip
help with
lead
that,
over the crew.
NFL stuff,
Yeah.
let me know.
Excellent.
What? If Ali makes fun
Ali,
of me.
that's it.
20.
Oh, no, Ali. Oh, commentator.
Oh, Ali, yeah.
Aline the judge, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Did Ali
Emmett's in
make fun
trouble
of
here with the 2
No, it's funny
queens.
when he imitates my German accent. It's
Oh, really?
I think he should play this game.
It's an interesting
Yeah.
German accent. It's not a full-blown
I've
German
seen him play
accent.
before with Norman. They had a
Oh, with
game
Norman?
called The Commentators, but it was about 10 years
Who
ago.
was commentating that game?
Get Kaplan play with them too.
Right, yeah.
I call.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
What?
Aces.
Queens against aces.
Wow. Hold
It's like
that.
it might be Norm's turn to buy in for 10K and run away.
Yeah, he's doing good.
So while Daniel tries to solicit me to participate in the festivities, we've got some bloodletting.
Well, I'll do twice today. The way I'm running.
Twice.
The way I'm running, I'll definitely do twice.
Yesterday, Randall was a run it once type of guy. This occasion, he says run it twice. Way behind. First flop, King's looking good. $65,000 pot. Six doesn't help the queens. Norm can't bear to look. He's got half locked up. Not even sure he knows it yet. Awaiting the second board to see whether or not Emmett can escape the scoop. Paint there, but it's not a queen.
10. Money would have got it in post flop regardless.
Yeah, that's what I
with
mean.
this
It
run
didn't
out,
matter.
yeah. It was just
Even if I called the 6, it was
inevitable.
going in after the flop.
Yeah.
Board pairs on the
How much is
turn.
it?
2 outs once for
How many
Randall.
have?
I don't know. I can't count that good.
5 of spades won't do it.
Nice, Anna.
And that'll be a big hit to his stack.
When I look into your eyes, though, I'm not joking. When I
It's
look
just
in-
I've never had a talk show host say that to me.
when I look into your eyes, I see.
And I've done hundreds of talk shows.
I see an eternal being.
Thank you, Norm. What a lovely thing to say.
So, do you think there is such a thing?
And as what? As
An
a supreme
eternal-
being?
No, an eternal being.
I think we all are.
You
What
know-
surprises you about me?
What surprises
you about me?
You mean just during this interview?
Just in general.
You seem kind.
That's surprising?
Uh-huh. Because I would think you were cold.
Right.
And yet you're warm.
Oh, thank you.
And in your eyes, I always go by eyes.
Again,
I always go by eyes.
You should.
And it's
What if
not-
someone's blind,
It's not
though?
sexual. It's not only sexual.
What if someone's blind?
My dad knew a blind man, and my dad was in the war. He was, he was a double generation older than I. He had me when he was 50, so he was in.
That explains a lot.
He was in the great one, and all his friends were old.
Right.
And so.
Wayne Gretzky?
He had a
That's a good joke.
So he had a blind friend, and he come over, and my dad said, "Do you want a Coke, Elmer? RC Cola." Oh, God damn. We don't got no RC Cola. We got Coca-Cola, the gold standard.
Right.
And this blind bastard wants an RC. So go down to Avonmore, pick up an RC. Well, that's a mile-and-a-half walk.
Right.
So I walk with this blind son of a bitch. And he says to me, he wants me to describe everything. So I said, okay, well, on the left there's some cows lowing, and, there's a fence. He goes, is it like a wood that's near petrified? I said, yes, it is. And how big is it? 3 feet. I said, John Neil Majerison used to own this land. He said, I don't want to hear that. He says, just tell me what is. And so all of a sudden, I saw things as they were. I was very young, but I'll never forget that. Because I had to see for this blind man, I had to see and describe not my opinions,
Right.
So when I went by John Neil Majerison's house a quarter later,
right,
I didn't mention John Neil or anything. I just described the house,
right,
because that's all he wanted to see. And then I began to realize that life is what is, not what you think it is, or not even what it appears to be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you would agree that your life or my life is just a series of facts, a series of incidents. It's not what you dream or hope or believe, it's what you do.
I would say the exact opposite.
What do you think it is?
First of all, you mean to tell me this does not end with we suddenly realize, why the hell are we getting this blind man a different brand? That's not the punchline?
Oh, no, there's no punchline.
Oh, my God. I thought I was being... Didn't you see a million miles away?
1,000%.
Why are we getting a different brand Coke for a blind man? That's not where we're going?
Well, he didn't. His sense of taste was expanded. He doesn't drink it through his eyes.
I guarantee you could fool a blind person with an off-brand Coke. But anyway, let's go back to your question. Is life the facts, or is it what we think it is? And I would, to me, the facts are somewhat irrelevant. And what you dream, hope, imagine is the reality. Our life is the perfect testament to that, because everything we are is only because we imagined it.
Yes, but you imagined it into being, and so the being is what's important.
Yeah, no. Because the imagined made it.
What if you just sit at home and imagine things on your chair? Are you just a person sitting on a chair, or are you what is in your mind, the imaginings of your soul?
The imaginings. The real world is not this. Mm-hmm. These are props. This is the trunk.
Is this
the act is in here.
Is this the real world?
If you were really funny, you would have poked me like Mo.
I mean, there's a reason that we don't look at each other in the chest. Isn't there?
Yeah, but we take notice of the chest. Oh. We look in the eyes, but we also look around.
You like a chesty lady, right? I'm not.
Oh, God.
And then it's about to go down. We're here to stay and run this town. Bring in the heat, bring in the energy. We're the queens of the festival, can't you see? We're the queens of the festival, here to rule the stage. Dropping beats and make your body engage. From sunrise to sunset, we're taking it all. We're the festival queens standing tall. Ooh, yeah, ooh. From dawn till dusk, we command the crowd's gaze. Every beat, every rhyme sets our souls ablaze. With swagger and style, we own this domain. In the realm of music, we reign supreme, no chain. Feel the rhythm pulsating through your veins. Our verses ignite fire, never wane. With each lyric we spit, each move we make, we carve our legacy, leaving jaws to quake. We're the queens of the festival, here to rule the stage. Dropping beats and make your body engage. From sunrise to sunset, we're taking it all. Festival queen standing tall. Ooh, yeah, ooh. No crown needed, our all's the crown jewel in the kingdom of sound. We never play the fool with beats as our scepters and rhymes as our decree. We're the sovereigns of rhythm for all to see. So bow down to the queens as we own the night. In the kingdom of music, we're the guiding light. From the first note to the last, we'll always be the festival queens, forever wild and free. It's time to close my eyes to old ends, open up to new friends, leave our heart in Berlin, where the tables turning, seeking up.
What's next for Jerry Seinfeld?
We'll find out. After this?
No.
Oh.
Because you're a young man.
I'm 62.
What?
Really?
62.
Look how lucky you get. Look good.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better than me, and I'm 68. Dreamlike.
How fast did that go?
I found it dreamlike.
Me too. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. There's something beautiful about this one.
I'm so
not
glad.
joking. I'm not being ironic.
No, I really loved it too. It was great.
Oh, that's great.
So
Too bad this guy was here.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider changing your style?
Oh, yes. I considered for a while because, I loved Rodney when he'd go on The Tonight Show and just destroy for 8 minutes. Then go on the couch, destroy for another 5 minutes. Yeah. And then at the end, how was your week, Johnny? After just non-stop knockout punches.
Well, what do you want to do now, huh?
That wraps it up, huh? That's something else, huh? What a crowd. You guys are great, I'll tell you that. I've been on a lot of shows, but there's no better crowd than you right here. I'll tell you that
right now. You're a pro. You came out here, you lit this crowd up.
I'm just telling the truth.
You're a truth teller.
What a crowd. Beautiful. They're great out there.
I got a wife.
You got a wife.
I just got married because I thought go through that charade, keep appearances up.
Oh, yeah. That's the kind of thing you tell if this were a memoir.
Yeah, if this were a memoir.
Right.
If this were a memoir, I would tell about my wife. What a battle axe.
Battle axe?
I mean,
no one's called their wife a battle axe since 1945.
Leslie, come. How do you feel about a woman? She's supposed to be my life partner. I look in the mirror the other day and I says to her, I says, honey, I look in the mirror and all I see is a fat, ugly old man. And I need you to give me a compliment. She says, all right then. Your eyesight is damn near perfect. I said, you dirty dog.
You called her a dirty dog?
A dirty dog.
A dirty dog.
We have fights constantly.
Oh, you do you?
Oh, and sometimes it bleeds over. Like we were driving that car. We went past a bunch of animals. There was a pig, a cow. And I admit this is a little cruel.
You were kind of mad at her at the time.
I was mad at her. So I said, hey, you see that pig, that cow, you know, horse? That remind you of any of your relatives? She says, yeah, my in-laws. I said, you dirty dog.
Oh, wow. Wow. Dirty dog again. Wow.
I tell you, until I met my wife, I always felt incomplete. Now I'm finished. But I will say this.
What is going on?
No, I will say this.
What is going on?
I will say
this is
that.
a 1935 radio show.
Henny Youngman, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
What's that you say there, Norm?
Let me see.
Norm, what's that you say? Tell us more, Norm. We're going to take a break for Chesterfield Figure That.
Now, I got married 3 years ago, and I'm not lonely too much now anymore. And I got a good woman, I tell you. I got a woman who loves me for my money and my fame and not for what I am. Now, when I tell you, before I got married for years, I was just playing the field. Or to be more accurate, I was playing with myself in the field.
You know, my wife's the easiest person to get along with. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife, you kidding? I can tell you stories of my wife sometime.
Yeah.
Or else we have a few drinks sometime, I'll start talking.
Really?
When I drink, I talk, you know.
I didn't.
My wife's a cold person, Johnny. Cold.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, her side of the waterbed is frozen. I tell you, I can't relax, you know. The other night I was in a place I felt like having a few drinks. Someone ordered a bartender. I said, surprise me. He showed me a naked picture of my wife. Tell you the truth, my wife and I, we never have sex.
No.
Now, we get undressed, we can't stop laughing, you know. But I'll tell you one thing, when my wife does have sex, she screams. Ooh, especially when I walk in on her. Ooh. I got no sex life. 10 years ago, my wife put me on hold. I mean, the last time I made love to my wife, it was ridiculous. Nothing was happening. I looked at her, I said, what's the matter? Can't you think of anyone either? Now, you kid, I know my wife cheats on me. Every time I come home, the parrot says, quick, out the window, you know? My sex life is nothing. My wife cut me out to once a month. Cut me down to once a month. Oh, I'm lucky. 2 guys I know she cut out completely. I'll tell you one thing, though. When I have sex with my wife, it's like magic. As soon as I get in bed, she disappears. Oh, the other night, she met me at the front door wearing a see-through negligee. The only trouble is she was coming home. And smoking, that's another one. Try to stop smoking. That's a beauty, huh? Well, with cigarettes, my wife and I, we made a deal, my wife and I. We only smoke after sex. I got the same pack now since 1975. What bothers me is my wife. She's up to 3 packs a day.
You're a celebrity of any sort, people want things from you, especially terminally ill children. So anyways, there was a Make-A-Wish Foundation, and this child wanted to come to SNL.
Natural.
And watch me throughout the week and see how an idea became a sketch. So I said, okay, that's a wonderful idea. And I talked to him at his bedside, and I got everybody else to scram, you know. And I was saying how touched I was that he wanted to do that. And then he said, I don't want to do that. I just made that up. I haven't liked SNL since Bill Murray left. So I said, well, what do you want me for? He said, well, do you have your Canadian citizenship still? And I said, yes, I'm Canadian, you know. And he said, well, that helps my wish. My wish is to kill a baby seal. So we took him, you know, me and my buddy. We went to Gander, Newfoundland, where we got the services of Edward McClintock, a cod fisherman. And he took us to the flow, and we found the you know, and the boy had a terrible cough, you know, and Edward McClintock said he's not going to make it through the North Atlantic. And I said, but his final wish, you know. But I worried about the boy, you know. So many pills. But I tried to entertain him. We would sit and we'd look. The sky is so beautiful and limitless when you get to these super northern places. And we'd look at the clouds, the boy and I, and we try to find figures in them, you know, like I go, that cloud looks like a half-eaten pickle. The boy had not learned that life was about food yet. So he saw other things, you know. He would go, look, there's a man with a beard. And I'd say, I don't see it. And he'd go, wait, see where that's his mouth. And then that's his chin. I go, yes, it is a man with a beard. Right, you are. And, you know, and I go, what about that one? It's an alligator. He go, I see this is an alligator. So we both saw an alligator, and on it went. So finally, we get to we hear the odd noise I'd never heard, and Edward McClintock said, harp seal. Yeah. Baby harp. So we said, oh, God, thank God, because it was getting, we'd been on the sea for a couple of days. And we go, and then we heard gunshots. And Edward McClintock said, damn punks from St. John's with their revolvers. That's not how you kill a seal. And we said, well, how do you kill it? And he produced a rucksack. And out of the rucksack was this medieval-looking sort of thing. It was called a hack-a-pick. Hack-a-pick. And Edward McClintock gave instructions to the boy. And he said, a seal's skull is as thin as a shadow by. Strike him with this hack-a-pick directly above the eyes. And watch as they go glassy. So the boy ran away. No, he didn't run away, man. He ran toward the
harp seal.
Toward the baby harp. And me and Edward McClintock and my buddy stood there, and he had such strength suddenly, this child, and he struck as hard as he could, and the blood came out. It was so red with the white behind it, you know, just this fountain of blood. Most of it hit the boy's face and in his mouth, and it was almost like the life of the seal itself was transferring to the child. And then me and my friend and Edward McClintock, we just stood and watched this wicked miracle unfold. And on our way back, we were all depressed, and we couldn't get the image out of our mind, except for the boy who sang gay songs. I gave him his pills. He threw them in the North Atlantic. He didn't want the pills. And we went back, and a miracle had happened. The boy was free of his disease. It was it was in the New York newspapers at the time. This was about 18 years ago. And he got a small measure of fame for it, and he got to go to Gracie Mansion, and he met the mayor, and he was on the Donahue program.
Cured.
Phil Donahue program. Cured. Yeah, it was. There were other people with him that had been cured and so forth. He didn't. It remained a secret of how he was cured, but and it was barely mentioned a year later when he was struck by a city bus and killed. So anyways.
That's